Sports Encyclopedia. U.S. Steve Kim. Got Trent in the cut.
What are you?
He's the best.
Yeah.
He's a master motivator.
I'm a master motivator. I ain't no regular ass motivator. I'm a fucking master.
Coaches tried to make practice so hard that the game was less intrusive. Like they coached you that way. Like people think, well, they were just yelling. No, they were trying to put you under stress and put you in under duress so that when you got in the game, you could mentally handle adversity.
If you go through JUCO and you make it out of JUCO, you can make it anywhere.
I respect the hell out of you to see that you're doing what you're doing and still doing what you're doing for real, the way you do it, man. From day one, you had the same enthusiasm. You keep the same enthusiasm, and it's fucking contagious.
In my opinion, I think Shedeur Sanders is the best deep ball in college football. I don't think
he's. Can you just say something nice about Shedeur Sanders?
I love talking ball. It's nice to connect with guys that are like-minded and just are real and genuine.
And I'll proudly stand up next to you all. God bless America.
You said belt to ass, T-Rich. You got the belt around you.
Smitty and Jason Brown.
Coach JB Show.
Yeah, we're in the building. It is Slapdick Nation time on a Talk That Talk Tuesday. So I will talk back. I'm off 2 hours sleep, a fifth of yak, and 10 cigars. But fuck it, we are here. It is go time. Take the E out of ego. It spells go. On the realest show on Planet ERF, powered by BetUS. Head on over to BetUS today and make some bets. Because it's go time. Hopefully somebody won some money last night on the worst national championship game playoff tournament in the history of my life. Hopefully one of you guys won something, because God knows I didn't. And you can bet the Final Four of the NFL playoffs this weekend on the AFC, NFC title games, plus all things NBA, if anybody cares anymore. How American sports have been watered down blows my mind. But we'll dive into it, man. On a loaded lineup. We got a really loaded lineup today. It is Doc Talk Tuesday. Dr. Jesse Morse will join us out the gate. Steve Kim, the Korean Cosell himself. It is T-Rich Tuesday. Bama legend Trent Richardson. And we got a special guest, Carolina Panthers insider, seen her on Pat McAfee's show and coverage of the Carolina Panthers in depth. Sheena Quick will join us, and we'll talk all things Bryce Young and the most country wide receiver in the country from South Carolina. The man, the possum eating, squirrel, raccoon eating wide out there in the Panthers. We're going to talk that too. So pound that like, subscribe, become a member. But let's dive into this thing, man, because does anyone wake up this morning feeling like this was a real championship? Plus, on an inauguration day, great marketing college football, a Monday on inauguration day in damn near February, as if you didn't know the inauguration date years ago. Trump is back in office, signing over 60 documents, firing motherfuckers, changing the landscape of America, just as we changed the landscape of college football with this paper championship we witnessed last night. Clubber Lang would be proud today. Just as he called Rocky in Rocky III a paper champion, this could possibly be the longest, dumbest, weakest championship in college sports history. The Ohio State Buckeyes are paper champions and clearly know it after losing twice. And to their rivals from the north, the Big Blue in Michigan once again. How are you the champion of anything? You're not even the champion of your own watered-down conference. This was the most watered-down championship tournament of my lifetime. It was a joke. It was too long. It's fucking January 21st, people. The 21st of January, we're 13 days away from the Super Bowl, and we're still talking about national champion college football games being played. Too many teams, and this shit seemed like a joke of a tournament, and the most mediocre championship game I've ever seen. I had zero interest in it because of the length of the tournament. It's damn near February. Because of the teams that are in it, it's damn near the Super Bowl. And because of how the seeding went down, it was a mockery of what we created in college football. But what do I know? My main man, the Far East Sider, the Naptown legend, 317, LeBron hairline having, Lamar Jackson loving, and AR5 jocking, Caitlin Clark swinging, Fox Sports very own. Our main man, Big Smitty. Welcome, my man.
Yeah. What's going on, y'all, man? What's going on? You all right?
Got bit by something. Got bit by something.
Mosquito? Damn, bro, be careful. You know that West Nile is back. That West Nile virus is back. So be careful with that.
I don't believe in bird flus, all that. I don't believe in none of that.
That's the truth, I mean, guess what? I'm the truth. You the truth. This show is the truth. And my cousin Keith Smith is the truth. Alex Byes in the building. We got Jay Ram. We got Kobe, RIP. Shaun Waffle, Mark Rideout, D. Jones, Gene, Isaiah Place, and Boston Richie. Loaded show. Amazing performance by the Ohio State Buckeyes last night, which I predicted at the very beginning of these playoffs. Told y'all from the jump. They were the most talented team through and through. My eyes work, and although they lost those 2 games, that did not define who they really were in the ultimate road of things. They took out the number 1 team in the nation, so you can't call this a fake championship or paper championship because they beat the best team in the country along the way en route to winning this. So shout out to Ohio State. Shout out to Ryan Day for finally getting over the hump. He's now solidified. He can stay there as long as he wants to now because he got that big time natty, and his job is safe. He's no longer on the hot seat. I know he's probably lit right now because he had probably the most hottest seat, in my opinion, of any coach. If he loses that game, knowing he lost against Michigan as well, I don't see him being back on the team next year. But hey, he did not lose. His job is secured, and he will go down in history as one of the all-time great Ohio State coaches, because when you add up his overall record and wins over the years, you throw on top of this natty, voila, this is what you got. So shout out to the Ohio State Buckeyes. So what we got today, man? What we got?
I guess if I threw bunch of shit at the wall, and then I saw it stick and just run down the wall.
Yeah.
I could pick the first piece of shit that hit the wall and then land it and then hit the ground.
Yep.
And then I ran over there and I picked that piece of shit up.
Yep.
I guess that's how the natty was. Somebody would be a winner, right? First person I picked up.
But
winner, chicken dinner. That was the worst game I've ever watched. The worst football I've ever seen. 2 things can be true, as Smitty eloquently said. Smitty says 2 things can be true all the time. Can I be honest?
Yep.
2 things can be true. You could have a good football game played by 2 horrible opponents. You do know that, right? Like, that's real. Mm-hmm. That's what I witnessed in the NFL over the weekend, and that's what I witnessed last night. A good game, you can call it if you want, played by 2 horrible opponents, is still 2 things can be true. Like, it can be a close game because 2 teams are horrible, and I'm just saying, Smitty.
But last night game wasn't close.
My eyes work like you said too.
Right.
My eyes work too, and that was horrible. Ryan Day, if he gets enough chances, he'll eventually win, right?
No,
I mean that's how I look at it, because he wouldn't even been in the tournament if it was a regular 14. Like, so we're not even talking about that. We're actually.
I'm glad he is in it. So
of course you are, because you're mediocre, and that's what the new national championship is.
Let me ask you this:
mediocrity.
Did Ohio State not beat the number 1 team in the country? Yes or no?
Second time.
Okay. When it mattered the most, right?
Second time.
I know when it mattered the most, right?
Well, not really. They lost their championship in their conference. Oregon won it.
Right.
So they're the champ.
And Ohio State beat Oregon in the playoffs, right?
Well, actually not. You're wrong, because Ohio State wouldn't even have been in the tournament. Ohio State wouldn't even have been in the tournament because they lost to the team when it mattered most.
If it was a fifth, we all be drunk, Jason. So I don't care about what used to be.
Not really.
This is what
Not
it
really.
is.
Really.
Every team knew this year will be year one of the 12-team playoffs, including Oregon. So I don't really care about what it used to be.
So did Oregon know that was going to be the way they were seeded after being 13-0 and beating 3 teams in the tournament, and they end up getting the hardest ranking? They knew that going in?
You have Dan Lanning's number. I would say text him right now, and we'll get our exact answer. I'm not going to speak for another man, but I do know
no idea.
Your number
idea.
in the nation.
No idea. No idea how the seeding goes. He was not going to know that. That's a waste of time.
Based upon
I would
what
never
Dan
text him
Lanning
that.
said.
That'd be a dumb question to ask him. Be a horrible question to ask him.
Cool. Well, don't ask me the same dumb question either then. Dan Lanning said his team is based off substance. So I figured the team based off substance that's undefeated, has never lost, who's already beat Ohio State, would have no problems with walking in there and beating them again, right?
Let me ask you an honest question. You're waking up today, and you're going to sit here and tell me to my face, bold face, you're not going to lie or nothing, that you woke up today feeling like this was a real national championship earned run. They went through the gauntlet. Yes. They deserved it. They were the 1 seed. They lost their own Big Ten tournament, but they deserved this. You woke up today like this was great football. Seriously, that's what you're telling me.
I woke up feeling like this was the best team in the nation.
No, that's not the question I asked you. That's not the question I asked you. I asked you, you woke up today knowing football. You played it high level. You get it. You know it. You woke up today after watching last night's game and are going to tell me to my face that this was a great playoff run and a bracket was just the greatest football tournament we've ever seen. This is what you're telling me. Because I'm waking up like, this is horrible. Like, it's almost February, Smitty. Like, let's be clear here real quick so everybody understands the landscape of college football. Number one, there's teams in spring ball right now. Let's start with that. Smitty's laughing because he just thought of it like, God damn, you're right. It's fucking February. Number two, winter conditioning is in January in most places. It starts, and then the recruiting process. So now all that's thrown off. It's too long to dive into all that. But the fact of the matter is, you want to give these dudes time off, but then you want to play to February. Then you want to pay the guys. Then you want to allow them to go to the portal. And guess what? This team, if Ryan Day knows is going to do it right, guess what? His team just won the Natty. It's January 21st. How long does his team get off? And then what is the motivation for the Ohio State Buckeyes to show back up in the weight room in January for winter conditioning and ready to go and get ready for a new season, which is already in the same year the Natty just ended? Please tell me that this is not conducive for not only these babies, but the entire game and landscape of this whole fucking thing. It is fucking February, Smitty. There's spring games being played at the end of this month in some places. March has spring ball officially. March and April is known for.
March is the main month. Yeah, March is the main.
But Alabama used to go in February. They used to be done already. As soon as they would win the Natty, go right into it and be done, so they could rest in offseason and just do weight training and so on and forth and get ready and still recruit for the offseason and all this stuff. These cats are about to be in spring games. We're going to be covering spring ball here on this show in a couple months, Smitty.
Months.
You can't tell me like that this is how it's supposed to be. Like, this is too long, homie. Like, maybe look it up for some of the guys in the chat that don't know football. Maybe look up a couple spring dates or a couple programs, Bailey, and drop the dates in the chat, because I'm just telling you, casual bass guy, I'll bet you next month's check. I'll bet you next month's check. Since you know so much, casual bass guy, I'll bet you, let's bet my check versus your check. Let's bet it. That there's spring ball starting very soon. Let's bet it.
Hold on. Very soon is too broad. If y'all gonna bet, it needs to be exact, like by the end of February. Like, it needs to be some sort of deadline. You can't say very soon, because that's
there'll be teams. Now the weather might have something to say with it. Right now in the Midwest and the East Coast, it's 19 below zero everywhere. So that may have something to do with it. But other than that, remember, it's January still, he said.
We started spring ball, I think, early March. I'm trying to think when I was at Ball State. Us. But again, that doesn't define. I don't know what every program did. So I honestly can't argue on this. I don't know. I mean, February sounds early, but everybody's different. So I don't know. You know what I mean?
And by the way, I never said there's spring games in January. So again, stop reaching. You're just mad that you know now that college football is so goddamn bad that half you didn't watch it. The ratings were the lowest it's ever been. And you guys are sitting here in January, about to be February, talking about a college football game. But speaking of college football, Smitty, before we get to the quote of the day, let's bring in our main man, the knower of all things, PRP, PPP, all that shit. Our main man, the doc himself, Dr. Jesse Morse, jumping in. Doc, I appreciate you coming in. NFL playoffs are here. The Natty's done with. It's almost February of the next year, and we're still talking college football, but what do I know? 4 games left, Doc. 4 teams. And in a game with the Rams and the Eagles, right out the gate that I thought the Rams dominated and were the better team in.
They were, except for the score.
Yep, and that's what matters. Jalen Hurts seemed to have looked a bit hobbled, and to say the least. He went out, put a knee brace on, came back in the game. I mean, 2 games in the playoffs, he has looked about as mediocre as you can at the NFL quarterback position, and they're continuing to win, Doc. That's how good that team is and how well structured that roster is. Saquon, 205. He looks healthy to me.
Does he?
But Jalen Hurts does not, Doc. And I don't know if you can beat a fearless guy who's throwing the ball and running the ball and managing an offense about as good as anybody in Jaden Daniels this week in a rival game for the NFC title game. If you're not on your P's and Q's, Jalen Hurts, I don't know if there's a stop in this Jaden Daniels kid right now. He's on a heater, as we would call in Vegas. Like, Jaden Daniels is on a heater, Doc, and I don't know if they're stopping it. Jalen Hurts would have to use his arm a little bit this week to win this game, and I just think they're going to run into a buzzsaw. But any update on Jalen Hurts? I know he's got a lot going on from the head to the knee to his arm to his finger. Break it down for us this first game.
The top 3 offensive players for the Eagles are all injured. Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, and Saquon. Jalen Hurts suffered that left knee injury. It wasn't super clear. It was either probably a meniscus or an MCL, if I were to guess. Meniscus, the blue thing. MCL, he put a brace on. He couldn't really move laterally a whole lot. He wasn't aggressive. The RPO was no longer effective because he couldn't do the R. And obviously, I tweeted that, is it a possibility they pull him out for Kenny Pickett? Because even though Pickett's not of a runner, he still had more mobility at the time than Jalen was just demonstrating and displaying. They didn't do that. They ended up winning the game. If it went a little longer, maybe they wouldn't have, but irrelevant. Jalen's going to play in this game. The question is, how effective is he going to be? He's probably not going to be able to run as much as he wants to do, like he did the other day. Obviously, they're going to move mountains to make sure that knee is as good as you're going to get it. Maybe he plays with that brace again, even though he probably doesn't want to. It may give him a little mental comfort. Saquon continues to do Saquon things. He injured his left hand/wrist. When he was getting he had the ball kind of like this. He was getting tackled, and then a player's helmet kind of came over like this. I tweeted it out. You can see they evaluated his wrist, basically wrapped it up with kind of like a tape Coban type of substance, and then threw a glove on. He wasn't, going to miss that game to save his life. The question is, after the swelling starts and the pain starts, how effective, how significant is it, and how effective can he be this week? I'm assuming he's going to be on the injury report. Remember, he hasn't dropped yet until tomorrow, so we don't have any idea who's truly injured this week. Usually we have a pretty good idea, and there's a couple others I'll mention. A.J. Brown hasn't done anything. in almost a month now, 3 weeks. He went 1 for 10 2 weeks ago and 1 for 5 this week. He just missed that beautiful catch in the corner when he was kind of falling out of bounds. I think he injured his left knee there, but he's been dealing with bilateral knee issues for a couple years now. That one, obviously, we saw with his left knee. But right now, he's a quote-unquote decoy. Goddard is the better play. Smith, even though he's so tiny when you see him, he just looks so little. But he continues to be an excellent receiver. And then Quinion Mitchell, who never returned to that game after suffering a kind of a direct hit right here. I think he got lucky and he probably suffered an AC sprain. It's probably a type 1. I was a little surprised they didn't let him go back in. Maybe they were just being extra careful. The fact that they said he got lucky usually means he didn't have a clavicle fracture, which means he'd be done. Didn't have a shoulder dislocation, but that wasn't the pattern to do it. The angle wasn't appropriate. And if it was a type 2 or worse AC sprain, those usually take weeks and weeks. So usually they're not going to say he got lucky. So that kind of tells me it's a type 1. They'll give him a little cortisone and or Toradol or whatever, and he'll probably play pretty high level this week. But in general, I have concerns that Jaden Daniels is going to be so elite in this game that I don't think the Eagles can be able to score enough points to keep up.
They're on a heater, man, Smitty, Doc. They're scoring points. They're fucking doing it every which way. I mean, it seems like this team, they don't care. Like they're in the backyard playing.
The kid is so fun to watch.
And their defense is getting enough stops. You know what I'm saying? Like their defense isn't like number 1 in the league, but they do enough in the right moments to just give the ball back to Jaden Daniels.
And he didn't even really he didn't even hit the over on his running the other day.
Right.
Like he didn't run a whole lot the other day. He didn't need to though.
He didn't need to.
Right. That was the thing is he didn't really need to. And he puts his ball accuracy is just silly. Look at like how the hell did he put it there? Yeah. Like and it's just like Olamide, the wide receiver, I think he strained his groin. He kind of disappointed. Jamison Crowder, who still exists, he had a hammy and then an ankle injury previous to that. He's lurking and around. McLaurin looks good. Eckler looked real good. Eckler was kind of sneaky. I'm happy for him. He's had a long journey and hasn't. I don't think he's won a ring. Now that I think about it, he had a bit on the Chargers. He definitely didn't win a ring. And then I haven't seen the defensive injuries for them yet, so I'll have to keep an eye on those. As far as the AFC, the Chiefs do what the Chiefs do. You know, maybe they got a little help from the refs, but it didn't really matter. At the end of the day, this game wasn't particularly competitive at all. I thought it was going to be more competitive. It is what it is. I'm not really worried about Mahomes' ankle.
Those two teams? Any major injuries in Buffalo or KC?
No. Mecole Hardman, but he's kind of a special teamer right now. He's still on IR with a knee, I think. And then the Bills. This game was close. If Lamar is just special, we know that. There's no questions about that. But he seems to shoot himself in the foot every playoff game in some capacity. You know, like
3 wins, Doc, in 7 years.
I mean, in his 4 losses, he's had a fumble and an interception in each one.
Yep.
So the talent is there. We can't question that. But some of the decision making, some of the crumble under pressure, I feel bad for him because he's so good at what he does, but he hasn't had the ultimate trophy to show for it.
And Doc, it's unfortunate that today we're talking about his downfall after an unbelievable year, but that's like separates the elites from the greats. That's what I honestly think. It's like Smitty's point. Only one team can win it every year, and one QB can be the champ. I don't know if he has to take that next step, in my opinion. But so does the guy playing this weekend, and Josh Allen. He's got to get over the hump. I think he's beaten Mahomes 3 times in the regular season, but can't beat him in the playoffs.
This is the most important one. If he can't do it in this one, it doesn't really matter. right? He didn't do really anything last week. He did not look very good. I think he had 150, 60 yards total. Like, and if it wasn't for the 2 fumbles and the drop TD pass or it's a second point attempt and the interception, they don't win that game. Like, they don't win. They look good in the first half. They looked awful. I mean, awful in the second half. Brady got a little conservative at the play call, and he got a little conservative. And I'm like, why are you not being aggressive? Why is Josh Allen? He loves to run. He's good at running. Why is he not running as much as he should have? You know? And then Keon Coleman didn't do anything. Amari Cooper had 1 target. Like, Amari Cooper.
Watched last night's game, but conservative play calling almost cost Ohio State a comeback last night against Notre Dame. Like, they got the game wrapped in a QB run game 3 times in a row. Punt. 3 times in a row. Punt. Notre Dame's back in the game. We're over here watching it like, oh, shit, now it's a game? And I'm like, you got to stop being conservative, man. We're too scared as play callers. I don't get it.
You got to push it, you know, and that's why I like the way the Commanders have been playing. Like, you don't really have to worry about them taking it off. They are just going to push it until the game's over. And we already saw them beat the Eagles once, if I remember correctly.
They did, but there's a little, I guess, I think the starter set out.
I'm trying to remember the timing of it.
Yeah, last game of the year.
Nobody playing, so it's not really the same. But I think from a mentality standpoint, like mentally as a player, you saw yourself beat the team. I understand the starters didn't play, but still, it has a little bit of like.
That game though started this momentum that they're on. Regardless of what you want to think, that momentum now is not stopping. It's a snowball. Yep. So thank you.
One other thing with Johnson, Tehran, I think his name is. It looked like he dislocated his shoulder. He landed like this. Oh yeah, kind of like that. And I'm pretty sure he didn't return. He had a couple plays and then he never came back that I could tell. And that would be a way to dislocate your shoulder. That would be usually a slap tear, which basically means you injure the top part of your labrum. And if that's the case, I don't know if he's going to be able to play this week. And I'm pretty sure they already ruled Rapp out. I saw the tweet. I can't think it off the top of my head. But so their defense, you know, Kelsey looked like Kelsey.
Yeah.
Pacheco still does not look good.
Every play seemed like.
What was that?
It felt like Kelsey was wide open every play.
Oh yeah. I mean, he still looked like he was running in molasses, but it worked, so it didn't matter. You know, Pacheco still doesn't look good. In my opinion, that ankle, whatever, knee, lower leg, whatever you want to call it, is still it's still affecting his explosiveness. And we've seen this over and over again.
I want to be clear. I think Johnson came back in the Buffalo game and played the rest of the game. That's what I've been told.
That Johnson or the running back Johnson? Because there's 2.
They're saying that name. That's what I saw.
Okay, I mean, if they did, great. I know he missed several plays, so I didn't see after that.
Twitter gurus. That's what the Twitter guru said. So I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, if he did, great. That's good. Okay, that's good. I just didn't see him return. But in general, we should have a lot of updates tomorrow. Right now, they're kind of under wraps. Both games are on Sundays, so the normal quote unquote week. I'm looking forward to 2 fantastic games. After this week was really good. The weekend before was disappointing. Last night, I'm not much of a college football guy. I choose my time in other places. And I saw the beautiful catch by Smith at the end. And that kid is just a stud. He's going to be a problem. He's going to be real good whenever he's available to come.
So, Doc, to be clear, so we're clear, the DB is who you said got hurt, did not return.
Okay, so that's what I thought. The other Johnson caught a pass. I know that. That was a running back. He's like the running back, fullback. Yeah, so my concern is with Buffalo's secondary, injury-wise. That's where my main concern is. McDuffie for the Chiefs got a little banged up. We'll have to see how he's doing. Watson came back. I don't know how he did, but he was on the field. I know that. Their DB that missed a while, almost 2 months. So, we'll have a lot more answers by the end of the week in terms of who's available, but I think I'll put an injury report out probably tomorrow, depending on when they come out. This one will actually have defensive players because there's only a couple to talk about. Usually it's too crazy. But yeah, I mean, we're turning the clocks. It's mid to late January already. And we're ready to rock and roll. One other comment that they just announced yesterday: Jonathan Brooks, the rookie running back from the Carolina Panthers, who initially had tore his ACL at Texas, ended up having ACL reconstruction. Got drafted by the Panthers pretty early. I thought he would miss about the first 4 to 6 weeks. Ended up missing the first 10 or something like that. Right before he really started to make his debut, they extended Chuba Hubbard, which was a little surprising, seeing how they also had Miles Sanders on the roster, and they just drafted Brooks. And then I think Brooks got a total of 8 carries before he tore his ACL again. He did not have surgery until last week. So, and that was over about a month later. So what does that tell me? That tells me that usually he has accessory injuries, usually an MCL or an LCL or a combination of them, that wasn't bad enough to surgically reconstruct. So they have to allow it to heal or heal more before they can go in and reconstruct the ACL. So the problem with that is almost no players return before 9 months. If he didn't have the surgery until last week, we're already talking mid-October. Assuming, and this is his second ACL.
Right.
And assuming no setbacks, we might not see him until November.
It's funny you say that. We have a Panther insider on today, Sheena Quick, who covers the Panthers. So she'll have a little insight on that. I'm going to ask her that, though, since you brought it up. So
I have significant concerns. I would love to know the graph they used on the first one. Ask her this, have her dig into this. This you might have trouble pulling this out, but I think it's worthy of going into. Did the Panthers know that his ACL was compromised before they activated him, and before is that part of the reason why they extended Hubbard? Because ACL re-tear rate graft in the first year is very low. So why did that tear a little over a year later? Was the writing on the wall? Why? Because when you were only supposed to miss 4 to 6-ish weeks and you missed 10, why were they so conservative with him? And then even then, he only played 8. He only had 8 carries in 4 games. So it's like, why were they so conservative with him when they reached so hard for him, or not? They drafted him really high, especially coming off.
I would have loved to see that combo. It was like a Montgomery Gibbs type of combination.
Yeah, so I want to know, did they realize that his ACL was, and I'll give you one comparison and then I'll leave with that. Do you remember when OBJ went to the Rams a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Well, he admitted after the fact that he partially tore his ACL reconstruction early on in that season. And he played with a partial ACL tear the entire rest of the season, and he was probably going to be the MVP of that Super Bowl, but he ended up fully tearing it. Again, you can play on partial tears. It's not recommended, but you can. I wonder if they knew it was partially torn. And that's what gives me pause. So see if she can do digging and I can speculate, but I'd love to know if we know. I don't think they'll admit it, but just the timeline and the writing on the wall doesn't fit. If he was healthy, he would have made his debut in week 4 to 6, not week 10. So what happened?
No doubt. We'll dive into it.
Gentlemen, have a good week.
We'll see you Friday. Appreciate you. All right, brother. Smitty, let's keep the Shabbat rolling. Make sure you write all that down and ask Sheena when she comes on. Let's dive into quarter.
I forgot everything you said. I forgot the player and everything.
Let's dive into quote of the day. Brought to you by BetUS. Smitty. Use the promo code Coach AB, get you 150% bonus up to your first $2,000 deposit right now on BetUS. Smitty, you have to fight through some bad days to earn the best days.
like that. I'm gonna clap it up for that one. I like that one.
I don't like him. I don't like a lot of your energy, but we'll go with it.
No, like it's good. Like that's solid. I just say every day, like wake up in the morning, brush your teeth, look in the mirror, and have the quote on the mirror. Just to make you feel good.
I don't like my energy.
What is he doing, y'all? What is he doing? 5 Hour Energy sponsor. Here we go.
Quote of the day. You have to fight through some bad days to earn the best days. Now, is that better?
That was way better. Way better.
Contrary to belief, brought to you by Prize Picks. Head on over there, use the Coach JB promo code as well, and get your first deposit covered 10 times on Prize Picks.
Yep.
10 times. They got 10. Smitty, whatever your name is, they can fucking do. You can bet and get 5 times, 10 times, 2 times. You can bet $10, Smitty, and win $200.
That 5 Hour Energy got you messed up. You good on me?
Contrary to belief.
2 times, 5 times, 4 times.
Lessons in life will be repeated until they are learned. Contrary to belief. Lessons in life will be repeated until they are learned. Contrary to belief.
I like that one, homie. It's going to keep on happening until you learn and you change your actions. Because you keep doing the same things will happen to you. Definition of insanity, homie.
What are you talking about?
Huh?
What are you talking about?
I don't even know. I'm just like.
No, that had nothing to do with the fucking quote.
Nah, Leah said that's true.
Poll question. There was a hire yesterday, Smitty.
It was?
There was a hire. And I don't know if this guy's bringing a Manny Petty, Asian, something on with him. But the Chicago Bears have hired Detroit Lion Ben Johnson to save Caleb Williams. Poll question is, Smitty, can Ben Johnson save Caleb Williams?
Yes, he can, and yes, he will. And I'm not even like the biggest Caleb Williams fan in the world, but he showed me enough signs this year and enough flashes to where the talent is there. And Ben Johnson, we saw the last few years how explosive that Lions offense is. And the Bears have a ton of weapons. They're going to get more weapons this year with the draft. You have a young guy who can relate to Caleb Williams, a great offensive mind. He's going to put Caleb in the best situations to be successful and to win. And I think we're going to see a really different year too with Caleb Williams, more precise and more importantly, more wins. And I think Caleb Williams has that skill set in him. And I think he just needed the right coach to be with him in order to like fully bring that out. You know what I'm saying? The old coaching staff that was there, we saw them with Justin Fields, and Justin Fields didn't perform his best. We see Justin Fields go to Pittsburgh with the Steelers, and the games he played actually looked halfway decent. You know what I'm saying? So we understand how important system is and coaching is and things like that. And I think Ben Johnson's a guy who can bring out a better version of Caleb Williams. And again, we went so hard on Caleb, you know what I'm saying, because of the expectations. But at the end of the day, it was his rookie year, bro. And everybody not going to have a Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is doing some stuff that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Last year we praised C.J. Stroud. This year Jaden Daniels has even trumped what he did last year. So I understand when you have someone in your same class that is so successful, you're going to be compared to that guy, and it's going to cause a, I guess, more negative press going against you. But at the end of the day, Caleb Williams did show some signs this year during his rookie year, and I think next year Ben Johnson will bring out a better version of Caleb Williams.
A guy that paints his nails will never win shit in a grown man's league. I'm just going to go to that. Let me just go straight there. Number one. Number two, I got to address the elephant in the room and the bigger picture, the macro scale of this.
The macro.
I want to be macro here, not micro. Smitty, let's talk, Smitty. Let's talk about brass tacks here that no one else will talk about today, because we think outside the box here on the Realest Show on Planet ERF, and we tell the truth, regardless of who said it, Smitty or I. It's going to be our truth, So listen, let me ask you this, Smitty. Did Ben Johnson tank on the Detroit Lions?
No.
Well, let's dive into that. Number one, he had his DC already hired in Dennis Allen. So he got hired yesterday, and Dennis Allen's the DC. It's very crazy how all that happened. Boom. Kudos to him, but let's dive into this deep thought. Okay, I want to deep dive with this, Smitty, into this. I got to ask you, what is the hurry in hiring a head football coach for a professional football organization? I have to ask, because this isn't college. There's nothing more than just the combine, which the coaches really have a very minute role in anyway. That's done by scouting, NFL and college scouting, GMs that are already in place in Chicago, ownership groups, and all that. The head coach has very little to do with it other than, all right, maybe I'll tell you. You can still get the coach in there well before the combines and the scouting draft parties and all that. I'm just telling you, a long, long time away, Smitty. You don't have to rush the hires in the NFL. I do not understand what the rush is. To me, I feel rushed, Smitty, watching this game, or watching this hire. I feel rushed knowing coaching that Ben Johnson clearly didn't get the job yesterday, 2 days after his Lions put up a fucking, let's be honest, the worst performance of the season, ironically. I can see, okay, you play the Eagles or you play a hot Rams defense on a dry ground, neutral side. You play a Chiefs defense. You played the Commanders. Shout out to Commanders playing well.
They hot, though. They hot.
No, they're hot. They're hot. I agree. But let's be honest, their defense hasn't been stellar. The Lions offense has put up 45 points 6 times. What happened to your offense the other day?
And 431 though, still with Jared Goff who threw 3 picks.
Yeah, I know. But then I fast forward, Smitty. I fast forward, and Monday comes, and this guy's not only the coach, he's got a whole staff already. You cannot, Smitty. I'm just giving out real gems here. You cannot. It's not really gems. It's actually knowledge, but a lot of people won't understand. You can't sit here and game plan for an NFL playoff game. This is fact, by the way. It's impossible to game plan for a game. Put your all into this game. Lose. Sunday comes around. I get a phone call. Hey, you're going to take the job? I know you've already interviewed twice. We want you. All right, cool. Thanks. Yesterday, press conference, he's there. Flies from Detroit to Chicago, 20-minute flight. Who you going to hire, coach? Already hired the whole staff. I got Dennis Allen as my DC. I'm going to hire my young QB coach as the OC. I got an O-line guy already. Smitty, when did you hire these guys? You already have had to have discussions with all these people in the process to enable to hire them. It's just a fact. You had to go through and hire these guys, Smitty, well before. You didn't just call everybody Sunday and say, hey, I got the job. You want it? You want it? You want it? You want it? These other guys are interviewing too. This is a conversation piece that's been had and been talked about for probably weeks, Smitty. I would say maybe longer. So is your full investment in the Detroit Lions? I find this to be what is ruining football at its highest level, not only in NFL, but in college. The investment by these guys who have gotten these opportunities. And I shout out to Ben, who turned down a job last year. And I'm not even blaming him. I'm blaming the process and the rush job. It's not college, Smitty. I don't need to go out and recruit and go get seen and be doing all this other shit like college would. You're the NFL. There's nothing to do. Your guys are on vacation. You're not having a team fucking meeting in January. You're not going out here and doing winter conditioning. This isn't college. You're basically going to chill and evaluate college football players for the next 3 months and do nothing else. You're not rebuilding a weight room. You're not creating a fucking culture. You're not doing any of that until April, May, or June when OTAs hit, Smitty. So what is the fucking rush to take these coaches and interview them during their playoff runs, respectively? All these guys that have been getting, coach, come interview for. The NFL has to change it. You had 2 coordinators, Smitty. 2. If I'm Dan Campbell, I'm putting a lid on it. No, you're not fucking interviewing nowhere. We got a fucking Super Bowl to win. If I'm Dan Campbell today, Smitty, I'm livid at the process, Roger Goodell, the NFL, how you're poaching my coordinators during a fucking playoff run.
I feel you.
Like, people in the chat, why do you care? Because I like to see good football, and I coached, and I know how it is to be poached, and I understand the process, and this is an all-in, 2 foot in, not 1 foot out profession. You fucking nobody that's never done anything. That's why. So if you're poaching both my coordinators, Smitty, during a playoff run, to me it seems like a disrespectful slap in the face to not only my program and organization, but my head coach who hired you to. Like Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell are boys.
Yeah.
And Ben Johnson was a young coach coming up when Dan Campbell became the interim head coach in Miami as a young 28-year-old in 2008.
Yeah.
So I once heard Urban Meyer speak at a clinic, and I've known Urban a long time since his Bowling Green days. And we were talking, and he said, man, I don't allow my coaches to shop on the job. And I was a young coach, and I'm listening, and I want to hear. I'm like, okay, what's the matter? Don't shop jobs while you're on the job. And I live by that. That was one thing. I live by a lot of his things. I live by a lot of Carroll things. I live by a lot of Saban things. I live by a lot of Gino Auriemma things. And I have some Belichick things. There's other people I take. Of course, John Wooden's Pyramid of Success. There's a lot of coaching, leadership, things I took. And that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to take that. You're supposed to steal. This is football. Football is a thieves game.
Yep.
Dan Campbell can't put in a game plan on offense, defense, special teams while his coordinators are out of the building and they're interviewing across the country and all these different places. And I got to sit here and fuck, man. My players don't as a leader, Smitty, you're not feeling like, are my players seeing this? Are my players knowing that this guy's not all in and we're about to play a playoff game and we haven't won a Super Bowl yet? I get it. We're not Kansas City and we've won 2 or 3 games. Dog, I just think it's a bad look, homie. What's the rush, Smitty? That's all I want to know. I want to ask Sheena maybe. She's an insider and covers an NFL team. What is the rush on hiring in the NFL? It's not college. And I think it's a slap in the face in those players that have earned the right. The Lions were the 1 seed.
Right. Nice.
And I can't believe, I just can't believe the investment was there and I'm not going to say Ben Johnson's not a professional. He turned down jobs last year to stay, and I gave him credit for it.
Right.
But the process is the issue I have, not the fucking, not him. Right. He shouldn't even be involved in an interview. Nobody should be until the Super Bowl's over. The Super Bowl's February 9th, Smitty. What are they doing between now and February 9th? And I've asked a lot of people, Lombardi's, and I know there's little things they do, but there's nothing that's going to change the game next year's outcome in February in the NFL.
Yeah. And I saw somebody's comment in the chat. It's kind of one that I had. I think it's just because of the competition of the other teams who are also looking for head coaches, where it's like if you don't interview them first and early and you wait and another team gets them early, you might miss out on the opportunity to even get the right head coach to your team. So I think that is a good point, number one. Number two, and again, this is just me guessing and speculating. I'm just saying Goodell needs to say we're not. This is the open day. None of y'all can do it, right? Y'all all gotta wait. I hear you for sure. But let me ask you this though: even in NFL level, don't you think the earlier you're able to find out who your head coach is, that the easier it is to figure out just okay, what players we want to keep, what scheme am I bringing in, what defense coordinator am I bringing in? Because the players on that current roster may not fit what you're bringing in, what the defense coordinator you're hiring in. So it's just I do think there's a lot of logistics that needs to be figured out in the offseason, and the earlier you can figure that out, the better in terms of going into April with the NFL draft. You mentioned the combine in February. Just the sooner, I think, the better in terms of just figuring out all the nuances of a new team.
I don't agree.
Some new logistics. Ben Johnson has to figure out where he's going to move to, his house is going to rent, how to even get to the stadium, where's all little stuff that we don't think about, but all that matters in terms of just being comfortable in your new situation. So like I hear you for sure from a current team perspective and how Dan Campbell may feel right now, but I do understand what the other side is thinking. They're like, man, let's figure this thing out early, get our head coach we want now, so we can start slowly figuring out and putting together the building blocks to lead to hopefully a new situation in our next season.
No, that I don't agree because this is NFL. They got movers. The NFL has its own moving companies. They move their guys. It's not a rush job. My point is, though, if the time has rule changed, if the time is allowing this, then there is no rush job. There is no hurry to get in February. There is none of this happening if Goodell puts a cap on when you can start to interview. And I say you do it after the Super Bowl and it's on an even playing field. To me, it's uneven now because there's teams in the playoffs that are having their players and their coaches poached while they're getting ready for a team that's both earned it to be in the postseason, while your team has not earned the postseason, and now you're poaching teams from the postseason to make your franchise better while we're vulnerable. My staff is vulnerable because I'm prepping and getting ready, doing scouting reports for an opponent while you're sitting around watching who the fuck you look at and want. Because that's the window, that's opportunities open from Roger Goodell and the hierarchy. I think you stop that, number one. Number two, there's nothing to your other point, there's nothing that they can do early in February because this is the NFL, it's not college. There's a salary involved, there's a cap involved, and there's roster guarantees who's back and who's free agents. That doesn't need to be worried about today or in February, not until after the Super Bowl, which is a couple weeks away now. What's the difference between now and a couple weeks in the NFL? I can go online right now and look at who's a free agent for the roster of the Chicago Bears and who's not. And I'm just a pedestrian. I don't need to even know anything inside. So that's not going to help him in February. And if he can't figure out where they move him as an organization, because he's not buying his house, they will, and can't figure out how to get to the goddamn stadium from his house, then he shouldn't be coaching anything.
I know he can't. I'm just saying.
Like, I know what you're saying, but I'm just saying.
Certain logistics that,
you don't need 6 months for that, Smith. You don't need 6 months for that.
So basically, you saying NFL head coaches ain't doing shit until the draft.
All they're doing is just evaluating film. They're evaluating college talent. They're putting together a staff, obviously, who they can get and all that. If to me, if you made it even, though, and you open the time window until after the Super Bowl before anybody can be interviewed, makes it simple and even to me. Now, guess what? Everybody has an open opportunity. And now highest bidder, best organization, history, owner, all that now can be weighed out, Smitty, by everybody. And I'll even take a step further. It actually will help out and eliminate the fucking Rooney Rule. And last night we had a great discussion with two of my boys. I'm like, hold on. So Eddie George got brought in for the Chicago Bears interview. Right. And I know Eddie well. Eddie's a great friend of mine. I know Eddie really well. He got brought in on an interview, dog, and an hour later they hire Ben Johnson. I'm just going to be honest. That's not how fucking jobs are hired. Can we stop? That's not how people work. It was a Rooney Rule box check. And listen, if you're Eddie, and I texted him, you got to take it because he's never had an NFL interview. You got to take the interview, right? But no going in. He knew going in, he had no shot. And literally minutes later, they hire Ben Johnson. Is that not a backhanded slap in the face to everybody out here that goes through the process and really goes and prepares and thinks they have a shot at a job?
It is, but like we always talk about this, I don't know what he's supposed to do though, because at least when your name,
I'm not saying him. I'm not saying him. I'm just saying
the process is messed up for sure. But at least once your name gets mentioned, then you would hope that like, okay, you know, it kind of makes you more of a popular candidate for future jobs. Now, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like you mentioned before how certain schools would try to interview you just to like make the job seem more sexier for other candidates. Like in a way, I think this makes Eddie George's name come to mind now for other opportunities that make them apart. But you're right, the system is all screwed up, and they're just interviewing people just to check off a box, which I don't know how you
Marshall Falk. I had Marshall Falk on the show here. If Deion stays at Colorado, maybe trying to hire. Listen, I've known Marshall a long time. I've had Marshall on this show when I first started the show. And we were talking about this, and Marshall said it straight out, like, stop taking those interviews. And I get it. You're Marshall Falk, though. Like, Eddie George, Marshall Falk, very similar. Eddie's a Heisman Trophy, whatever. Both had great careers, college and pro. Marshall was like, man, with our agents, we already know who's getting a job, or even if we have a shot at it, because they tell you different things. Hey, dog, this is a prep interview. That's what they told Eddie. It's a prep interview. Go in there, whoop-de-whoop. Marvin Lewis was told, hey, man, listen, Mike McCarthy's getting this job. Because Marvin Lewis interviews, and an hour later, Mike McCarthy got the job, got announced as the head coach of the Cowboys too, 4 years ago or whatever year, how long ago that was. So, like, these guys know, and it's crazy. It's like, I'm not saying the coach interviewing. I'm saying the owner should feel some type of way by saying, you without knowing, you have slapped all these other coaches in the face without even letting them know. Not only them, but all the other coaches out there aspiring to be coaches.
Right.
Like, you interviewed me, and an hour later, you named the coach. Here's my point. Jerry, do it if you want to do it, but wait a day.
Right.
To announce the motherfucker. So everybody out there doesn't think this was a token bullshit interview that's a slap in everyone's face out here. And all my assistant coaches who are trying to aspire to be head coaches don't just get discouraged. Because you guys don't understand that shit trickles down. And I'm just saying, man.
Now with the Eddie George Ben Johnson thing, I think they did wait a day though, right? Like they didn't literally wait, like hire someone Ben Johnson an hour later.
Yeah.
He's gonna do it literally an hour later.
He interviewed yesterday. They hired Ben Johnson.
Man, I thought they interviewed 2 days ago. Dang, that's crazy.
No, because the Lions played. The Lions played Smitty.
Yep, Sunday. Today's Tuesday, so I guess that is crazy. That's insane. So
I'm just saying, dog. It's a mockery to me. I don't know. It's a mockery to me. It's crazy, but anyway, it is what it is. I think the Lions played Saturday. No,
the Lions played this weekend, but from what I'm hearing is that Eddie interviewed, like, it might have been late last week. Actually, I feel like I saw the headline of Eddie interviewing before yesterday, is what I'm saying. And Ben Johnson hire just came out yesterday.
Did the Lions play Saturday? I'll tell you right now, because I know I got the text message. Did the Lions play Saturday?
Saturday, yeah.
Ben Johnson and Eddie George interviewed Sunday for the Chicago Bears.
All right, and then they hired Ben Johnson yesterday. So to your point,
Ben had already interviewed via Zoom 3 times.
Yeah. Got you.
Eddie went in person because I talked to Walter Payton's son, Jarrett. Eddie went in person on Sunday.
Yep, got you. Makes sense.
So I'm just saying, and then you hire Ben yesterday. It is what it is.
Yeah. Is what it is, man. But listen, it is 7 o'clock, JB. I know we got a whole bunch of guests coming on, so we should probably take a quick break right now, take a piss. When we come back, it might be our last break.
Jay, you deserve it, brother. Thank you. Thank you. It's okay. It's okay.
Why are we showing it? It's like just like a joke or something, or are we just? Why are you making that face, Jason? I know you ain't thinking what I think you thinking. What you about to say? I know that's not about that. I'm not even gonna speak on this. I'm gonna sit here quiet and let JB make all these faces.
But she could coach football. Fuck.
Ain't this a mother? I knew he was gonna say that bullshit. I knew he was gonna say that bullshit.
She could coach kick slide though. She could coach Smitty how to beat the fucking double team. She can teach motherfuckers how to wrong arm. She can't drive the golf cart. Can't drive the golf cart straight. She wasn't drinking, but she can coach football. Got it. I got it. She could coach football in a high-stress environment, and she can get after you and yell at you, and teach double teams, and fucking skip pool, and fucking cat block, and sift the backside versus fucking 5'9". She can do all that. She could teach fucking cover 2 and all the variances of 2 high, 4 shell, quarters, match 0, fucking trap, cloud, sky. She could do all that shit. She could take an ass ripping from a head coach. She can do all that in a high stress environment. But she can't drive the golf cart and steer away from the wall. And almost fired Ryan Day without him even being fired. She almost clipped his right leg off. Holy shit, Ryan Day's leg almost got snapped off. Did you see that? I didn't even see that part. Holy shit. So, hey man, Trump did a lot of signing yesterday, and he signed, there's 2 genders now. Shout out. It's a new thing. 2 genders and you know, let's save women's spaces. I'll say that. Let's save women's spaces. Let's keep men out of women's spaces. And I won't even go the other way.
I guess men have never crashed carts or or made any mistakes. And I guess that right there we just saw is a direct correlation to football. Crashing that cart is the exact proof we needed to show that women deserve to not be in football at all. That moment right there. That's all. Clap it up. Clap it up with JB and Bailey. Clap it up. That was the proof we needed right there to prove why women can't be in football. I'm going to break. Y'all do what y'all want to do. I'll be back when I want to be back. And that's all I got.
What up, man? This is a proud new sponsor of the Coach JB Show with Big Smitty, and it is First Round Performance. Yeah. Make sure you head on over to firstroundperformance.com. We got the merch, the gear. They are top-notch company.
High quality, JB. All about the quality here. Workout gear, exclusive gear. What's that right there, JB?
By the way, nobody else in the country or the world has this short right here. You can put this short on. It helps your back. It helps your hamstrings, helps your quads as you work out.
What?
You can wear these right underneath your workout shorts or what have you. It's kind of like a girdle, but very, very comfortable. Shorts Against Syndrome. It's SAFS. Go head on over there and check it out. First Round Performance.
JB, they got workout bands. They got ankle weights.
What's this?
What's in that box?
Kind of good.
It's our first time seeing this.
What's this?
I'm nervous. What's that?
It's a 40-yard dash electric timer. You can go get your workout on with the light and the strobe, the whole deal. Firstroundperformance.com.
Oh, you just turned it on, JB.
Bam.
You want that smoke?
Go check it out.
I know you ain't trying to race me, JB.
I might race Smitty and smoke him.
You ain't trying to race me. You scared of that life.
Yeah, this is real deal. You guys got to go check it out. Firstroundperformance.com. Head on over there. Proud new sponsor of the Coach JB Show.
This is nice, JB.
With Big Smitty. And
this is mine, right?
Hell yeah. Listen, their premium gear, including the revolutionary SAFS shorts I just showed you, are expertly designed by a leading orthopedic surgeon to align your hips and relieve your pain. It is trusted by athletes and active individuals alike, whether you are pushing your limits with their high-quality resistance bands, as Smitty just showed you, or boosting recovery with the powerful dual-spectrum red light therapy devices that I just showed you. First Round Performance delivers the tools needed to stay at the top of your game. Whether aiming for peak performance or simply wanting to live pain-free, they've got you covered. Visit firstroundperformance.com or shop on Amazon today. They just launched their AmazonStore.com, their Amazon store. This is out there, First Round Performance on Amazon. And so go help them out and grab some performance gear today. And please feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions.
Yes, sir.
Go first round.
Go first round, baby.
The promo code will be Coach JB. So check that out and head on over there today.
Get right, baby. First round, the highest quality.
First Round Performance. Go get you some merch.
Ooh, I like this shirt. I like this shirt, JB.
Peace. We are back in the building. Shout out, pound that like, subscribe, become a member. It's about 4,100 people in here. Last night we went live, Palooza. It was like 11,000 people. 9,000 of them were on Twitter. It's crazy. At 9 o'clock at night to watch the worst national championship game in the history of football. But what do I know? Sheena Quick, insider for the Panthers, will join us in the second hour, along with T-Rich. In about 5 minutes, though, Steve Kim, hoping he made it home from here, will be showing up on this show here in about 5 minutes. So shout out to all the guests today. It's Talk That Talk Tuesday. So pound that like, subscribe, and become a member of our other channel as well, as members will be open hopefully here today. McDonald's does have the best cookies. You can get the whole tote like this, 13 cookies in there. 13 of them. 13 of them. X-Notch. Sheena doesn't even know you exist. So I'm just throwing that out there. So it can't be your baby. God damn. Some of you motherfuckers is comical. No, Jazzy. Chick-fil-A. I've never had Chick-fil-A cookie. I've never been to a Chick-fil-A, so I've never had their cookie. I haven't even had their fake plastic chicken. So I definitely haven't had their cookies. But shout out to Trump getting rid of the WHO, the WHO. We no longer have the WHO. So shout out to Trump for getting rid of them. So hopefully we can get rid of red dot, food additives, all that bullshit. Shout out. Hopefully RFK can make food great again. It's crazy how the UK cannot have all that shit, but we have it all. That's why Smitty's bloomed up to like 260 at 5'8".
What was that?
What's up? That? The food. I said the shit that's in our food now.
Nah,
we got rid of it yesterday. We got rid of blue dot, red dye, all that bullshit additives. We got rid of all that shit yesterday. Trump got rid of the WHO, the World Health Organization.
Hold on. We ain't got red dye no more?
Nah, we got rid of that shit.
Fuck.
It's killing us, Smitty. I don't know if you knew that.
I don't care. We've been eating our whole life. I don't care. We're going to die anyway.
Just keep it.
Your whiskey you drink kills you. That cigar smoke kills you. The non-working out, the being obese kills you. We don't care about none of that.
I'm not obese.
Red dye is what makes these chips right here that I eat all the time. So now I can't eat my hot chips, my hot Cheetos, I've been eating this my whole life. Hot Cheetos, hot fries, hot popcorn, hot Doritos, hot Funyuns. Without red dye, there's no hot Cheetos. I'm literally 31 years old. My entire life, since the womb, I've been eating these. And now now Donald Trump, first day in office, he gonna remove something that's been a part of my life since the beginning of time, since '94. I'm pissed off.
Caitlyn Jenner went to the Twitter platform last night, X, and said, "God thank America." Ash, get down. God thank Donald Trump, thanks you, and blah, 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 right? Ash. Ruben, the homie Ruben's here, Smitty, still, because he's off today, and we're going to go out of the Moody Yoda. And Ash is literally like R-wording him right now.
No, yeah, don't say that.
Ash, get your ass over here. Ash.
Yeah, we don't want to talk like that, bro.
But anyway, Smitty, Caitlyn Jenner said, thank you, Donald Trump. God bless. Someone said, Caitlyn, Trump just signed a document that's going to make us call you Bruce again.
I saw that online, man. The internet's a crazy place, homie.
I love it. But anyway, I wish Bruce was driving that cart that broad crashed. So anyway, our one and only man, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Gems, the Korean Coach Cell, the co-host of Fearless with Whitlock and the 3 Knockdown Rule with Mario Lopez, our main man, Miami University Hurricane Steve Kim joins us.
Yeah.
Ash, come here. America's great. Steve, you were here last night. I'm glad you made it home.
What a great day yesterday was. I mean, all I could say to that is hip hop hooray, ho, hey. Oh my God. Something felt different yesterday. I don't know what it was.
I know what it was.
Was it the weather? Was it the weather?
I don't know what it was.
No.
But, yeah.
It was the college football playoff playing a national title game on Inauguration Day. Great marketing ploy by you guys. Great job.
You know what I think? I think this was on purpose. That it was a celebration of America. America returning to its greatness. America celebrating some of its values and its traditions. God, I don't know. I don't know what about it is, but it's good. It's good. Some of us.
Steve, who has the best chocolate chip cookies? McDonald's or Subway?
I have not had either one ever. No.
Wow, Steve.
But I will go to McDonald's today, though, in celebration of 47. You didn't come through yesterday. The chicken was good, but I wanted McDonald's in celebration of McPresident. But in honor of it, I'll have it today when I get to Montebello, right there on Beverly Boulevard. And we'll go from there. But yeah, the chocolate chip cookies. When I go to McDonald's, which I have not done that in years, I usually like to get the McFlurry. But again, that machine's broken 2/3 of the time, so you can't even get that. So it's McBroken.
Is it really? I haven't been in McDonald's in 30
it's
years.
It's always broken, JB. Yeah. Man, literally. Anytime you go, it's always broken.
So that's one of the things that Donald Trump needs to give his autograph on, is that McDonald's, once a McFlurry ice cream machine is broken, they have within 60 days to fix it, or they have to close down. That's another thing. But he's getting a lot done, though, the Don. The Don is giving his autograph out like Pete Rose during Hall of Fame weekend. I am liking what is going on here with this new administration. They are not waiting. They went on the fly running. It's great to see.
It reminds me of Coach Smitty. It reminds me of coaching, Smitty, like taking over a job and you're fucking firing guys you don't want. You're hiring new guys. You're making rules for my staff, for
Ben
my
Johnson,
team.
like Ben Johnson, got straight to it. D coordinator, all that.
Let's dive right into that segue, because I was just discussing, why are we so infatuated with poaching teams in the playoffs to hire coaches in January in the NFL? It's not like it's college. They're not recruiting. They have nothing to do right now. They're not building a weight room. They're not creating a culture yet. The players are all in Cabo. Nobody's coming to a team meeting anytime soon. Why do we have to poach our guys? I'm asking if Ben Johnson gave a lackluster effort on offense the other day for the Detroit Lions while he was interviewing for other jobs and already had a full staff. That means he took a lot of time, Steve, in finding a staff over the last 2 weeks because he knew he was getting the Bears job. And I just have to ask, if I'm Dan Campbell, man, hey, fucker, were you fully invested in this fucking game? I'm just telling you, man. I have a weird. I don't like it. Steve, why not just wait till February 10th to open up the hiring process for the entire league? I'm just asking.
Well, I thought Ben Johnson overthought it. He tried to show off and flex, and I'm a big fan of Ben Johnson. He would do that game all over again. You had the ball inside the 25 of the Commanders. You're up 7-3. You're about to go up. It's 3rd and 2, and it goes empty set. And I was like, okay, I'd just run the ball here twice. And then Jared Goff, sack, strip, fumble, and then it became the deluge. And they never really had a handle on the game again. They were this close to taking control of that game at 14-3, but he didn't. He wanted to be fancy. He wanted to show off, and I've seen coordinators do this. But to your question, I guess that's just the way it's done. I don't know what's going to change it. Teams want to move on. I mean, Chicago, they want to move ahead to 2025. The Lions are looking ahead to this season and hopefully the next week, which never came. So those two agendas are never going to marry up until the NFL puts in a rule that no interviews can take place till 24 hours after the Super Bowl. Nothing's going to really change in this whole process.
And also, JB, to your point, I guess there's a couple things. You really think like one interview is just throwing them off completely for the entirety of the week?
Yeah, because that's not how it works, Smitty. It's not one interview. He did 3 interviews via Zoom probably and 1 in person during this run. Like, let's be honest, they didn't just hire him yesterday off of the first interview. He's been interviewing through the process, doing a lot of things. He's probably had to come up with criteria on questions he was asked over amount of time. Hey, coach, give me your first round grades on XYZ. Give me your second round grades. How are you going to fix the draft? How are you going to create this? How are you going to do this? It's not a one-day interview for the guys they really want. It was a one-day interview for Eddie George. That's the crazy part of this. But there's not one day. So Ben Johnson is taking time out of his Detroit Lions job to create all these things. He has an agent and things and doing all the, the fabrication of books and shit and making graphic. Yeah, but he's having to do all these interviews during a process because they had a bye week. That's going to be Roger Goodell's excuse.
Right.
But that's not real life in coaching world. The bye week's the most important fucking week. They lost bye week, by the way, because they lost their first game against the fucking Commanders. Like, I'm just saying, man, I just think it's fair to everybody. Just wait. There's nothing to do right now in the NFL. There's no draft. There's some pro days coming up. You can wait till February 10th. And if everybody's on a level playing field, Steve, to me, it makes more sense that you can now evaluate, okay, do I like Jerry Jones and what he's doing? Do I like what Jacksonville's doing? Do I like what the New York Jets are doing? Now you're taking both of my if I'm MCDC, I'm fucking livid because you've interviewed both my coordinators during the playoff run as the 1 seed. My DC and my OC have been half here, half there. And this ain't a 1 foot in, 1 foot out profession, dog. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, but again, I'm not sure that it really mattered. That patchwork defense of the Lions just fell apart.
Yeah.
We could have saw it again last night. We could have saw the same scenario with your boy Al Golden last night because I'm hearing he took the Bengals DC job today.
Yeah, look, Al did not have a great night. He had a great season, but that game,
I'm just saying.
They let a lot of plays bounce to the perimeter. And that last series, we were doing that live stream. Al, you know more football than I do, but I was calling it out. They were going to run Will Howard up the middle. And then on 3rd down, I just kept saying, take away Jeremiah Smith. That's who they're going to. That's their guy.
Steve, you knew if you took the job today, you didn't interview this morning after your game and got the job. He's been interviewing for this Bengals job because Bengals DC went to the Colts, who was fired.
Yeah, well, look, I guarantee you Detroit knew that they were going to lose at least one, if not both coordinators. I get the sense that Chicago probably knew about a month ago, like, we like Ben Johnson. We need a guy that's going to be able to guide Caleb Williams. Now, I have my doubts about the fit because what Jared Goff can do for whatever limitations he has, he can play under center, he can operate play action, and he generally gets the ball off on time in rhythm because he has to. If you look at the metrics, go beyond the stats of Caleb Williams, and First Round Mock Draft on Twitter breaks it down. If you look at how long he takes to get rid of the ball, actual percentage that he completes on passes that go beyond 10 yards, he's in the lower quarter, guys. So, and you still have to rebuild that offensive line. There's no Penei Sewell in Chicago, and there's no Jahmyr Gibbs. So keep that in mind.
That's our poll questions. I like Swift in that offense, though. He's kind of like a Gibbs in that second-tier Gibbs. I got to ask you, like, to our poll question, can Ben Johnson save Caleb Williams, in your opinion, then?
Not quickly. I think you have to in my view, you have to teach him how to play quarterback, unless Ben Johnson is going to adjust his offense, which he should. Every coordinator needs to do that based on personnel.
Right.
But if you watch Detroit, a lot of what they do is, number one, setting up the run and then running play action out of it. So I don't know. Can Caleb Williams consistently stay on script? That's the question.
I'm not all out on Caleb Williams just yet off a rookie season. I've just seen too many, quarterbacks bounce back. we have a Panthers insider coming on here shortly. And we saw Bryce Young kind of this last season. Everybody was off on him out this rookie year, but then last few games here of the season, we're like, okay, Bryce is showing us something. He looks better. So, I'm not all the way out on Caleb Williams just yet. I thought he showed flashes in his rookie season, and I still think I like what Ben Johnson did in Detroit. To your point, Steve, he can't do exactly what he did there, what he's going to do in Chicago, and I don't think he would do that. I think he will he'll evaluate the talent he has, look at Caleb's strengths and weaknesses, and create a system that will fit him. They'll give more protection, hopefully, on that O-line in the drive. I don't know. I don't know how good Caleb can be, but I think we'll see a better version of him next year, whatever that may be.
I don't believe so. Any money that paints his nails is fucked. But anyway, that's just me. Hey, Steve, I got to ask you, Ben Johnson takes the Bears job, and obviously there's other jobs out there. What is happening in Vegas with this Raiders organization? I just have to ask you, and we'll get to the rundown, but I got to ask you, it seems like people are just bypassing that on a Spirit airline and not even stopping by in Vegas to pull the slot machine down one time. They don't even want to gamble. They don't even want to gamble with this job. So, in Vegas.
Bad job. It's a bad job.
Yeah,
that's probably what it is. I don't. I'm a coach. I don't care if Tom Brady's there. I really don't.
I don't either.
I'm not. I guess you could take a selfie if that's your thing. Wouldn't be mine. But it's a bad job. If you look at the way Mark Davis runs that organization, the infrastructure of it, you never have a home field. That game, that's become the Airbnb for all NFL fans. You have a great weekend in Vegas. You take over the stadium. You win a game. They don't have a future quarterback. I actually think they need to beg John Gruden to come back and let bygones be bygones.
I was going to ask you that. Do you bite your tongue and just say, fuck it, come back? Because I know Max Crosby wants him back. I know a lot of people would love to have him back. It's interesting. I'm curious. If Barstool has elevated him, Smitty, I don't know. You know how the media keeps you relevant. Right. Now he's back in the light of people with Barstool's platform. Maybe someone says, hey, I've been watching him again, break down shit. We love him. Let's bring him back. I don't know who the Raiders hire. I don't know who Jacksonville hires, Steve. It's going to be interesting in those two. But Aaron Glenn, I've been told, he's probably the closest thing to being hired in New York for the Jets. Right. Another Lions coordinator. Both coordinators are going to go. MCDC already said it. He knows. Are the Lions the Cubs now?
I don't know about that. I think the Lions still have a great nucleus. They got to get healthy. That injury to Hutch and then Aleem McNeil, they never got that inside push.
Yeah.
Aleem McNeil is a Pro Bowl level player. Then Carlton Davis went out. They had injuries all over the place defensively. I mean, to have that many players on injured reserve and still win 14 games, it's an amazing accomplishment, but these windows are very, very precarious. They're short. I have faith in Brad Holmes. He does a great job of drafting, and he will make some moves. He's an excellent player evaluator, but the question then becomes, who do you get that will replicate what was done with Ben Johnson? Because Jared Goff is still an effective quarterback. He blew up again. I get it, but you are going in with him next year. So the question then becomes, who can run that system effectively and maximize Jared Goff. So that's the question. And then defensively, I think you really have to get healthy. Hutchinson was on his way to like a 20-sack season. And then once you lose him, Aleem McNeil, Carlton Davis, and then, defensively, they got to get back. They didn't play a great fundamental game. I saw things, I'm like, guys, Terry and Arnold on 4th and 1, I'm thinking, you're the backside corner. Just stick right there. Peeks inside, Jane Daniels. I said, guys, an 8th grader would know if I'm the backside defender and I'm a corner, I'm not making a tackle on an off-tackle run. And he sunk inside, and I said, game over. I mean, so they got to get better at a lot of things defensively. Aaron Glenn did a good job, and good luck to him in New York.
Hey, Smitty, that's my point to the Bears. Like, there's no way this team wins 10 games next year. In a conference in the NFC North, who everybody thought was going to play for the NFC title game. Subsequently, it's the NFC East battling it out this weekend in the Commanders and the Eagles. But everybody thought it was the Lions and the Vikings or the Packers, and everybody was. The Packers are the youngest offense in football. The Lions, to Steve's point, the Lions are who they are. They're still loaded. And the Vikings just won 14 games. I expect them to continue to stay close. Not 14, maybe. I would say the Vikings are consistent. They're going to be.
We don't even know what they're going to do with the quarterback position. Number one,
they're going in with the rookie now, a second-year rookie in McCarthy. Let's see.
Yeah, but where's the room for the Chicago Bears to win 10 games? The Chicago Bears do not. Let's be honest. They have the 4th best roster in that conference.
They do. Hey, Smith, I got a question.
Yep.
About that guy that pushed the coach, the Houston Texans guy.
Yeah.
Are you serious when he said that was a celebratory act?
Well, listen, Steve.
Please rescind that, because I'll tell you why you couldn't be more. You have to be trolling because, and I'm not exactly Frank Gans or Joe Avanzano.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not a special teams guru, but okay, so that is celebratory, right? So let's say it was. Smitty, that was the opening kickoff that went for like 65 yards. Now, I don't know. If I'm a coverage guy, I don't act like I'm Steve Tasker downing the ball at the 2-yard line if I just gave up a 65-yard kickoff return.
So to give a little bit of context,
no context.
The player got asked after the game. He forced the fumble, and he looked and he thought that his team recovered it. That's why he got so excited. He hit that guy, forced the fumble, thought his team recovered because everyone was pointing, I guess, in one direction. So he assumed that they recovered and made a big play on the opening kickoff. So it was a dumb thing that he did based upon what he thought happened. Still, with that being said, you don't throw your helmet. This is insane, and I would never put my hands on my coach. So I was trolling.
That's also a penalty too.
Yeah, that's first penalty. By the way, Smitty, I sent you that whole video breakdown. I don't know if you saw it. I sent it to you on Instagram. Like they broke the whole play down. He got fucking bubble woo wet right out the gate. They scooped this dude up, Steve, on double team his ass. Yeah. He gets fucked up. Then he chases the play after it goes 60 and comes from the back, strips it, and then thought he did some big time shit. By the way, that was his second tackle of the year.
Literally.
Oh, but here's another thing I thought was interesting yesterday's show. You always hear from people, well, did you play the game? Did you coach? All right, so look. Andrew should have caught that ball on the sprint right option. But it's interesting that when Shaun King and Jason Brown, who have played and coached, have a critique, the same people now discount that.
Because it is.
And I always get this, well, did you fight? I said, no, I cover fighting. I never said I did. But the thing that's interesting is fighters never say that when you praise them. I've never had a fighter say, Steve, I really appreciate the compliments from you and all the fans, but you never fought.
That's a good point.
Okay, great. Well, see, if you do that, I'm good with it. But here's the thing. Most of you people ripping either JB or Shaun King, number one, you probably never played at even the level that he did. And I hear that Shaun King only played 3 playoff games. Right, that's 3 more than you'll ever be in. Shaun King crafted an NFL career. No one's calling him short Warren Moon. But he played at the highest level. It's only 2% or 2.5 to 3% of people that play college football get to that level and actually have a career more than 3.5 to 4 years. Okay? Yep. The other thing is, and then from a technical standpoint, most of you guys could not get on the board with JB and even explain a pattern match concept on a zone, or how you really get into a 7-step drop. And what are you reading? High, low, left, right, whatever. So that's the phoniness of a lot of fans who are aggrieved. Just say it. You like Lamar Jackson, which you are allowed to.
Right.
But that is the phoniest thing. Well, and then I hear this, Steve, you need to stay out of this discussion. Oh, really? Really? I have a question. First of all, you're never going to get me to step out of a conversation. But if I said something you agreed with,
you'd be okay
culturally,
with it.
racially, politically, you'd never say, Steve, we love the fact you hate white folks and there's whites who you need to stay. They wouldn't do it. These people are not honest, and most of them are not intelligent. So good job, JB and Shaun King.
Hey, you know, it's funny. It's a great point. This is why you made me think something real quick. It's a great point because regardless, Smitty, they are going to say, Steve didn't play. You didn't coach. Smitty, you didn't play basketball. You don't know nothing. But even the ones that did comment, and they still, the same people are still discrediting those guys too. So you're never going to use them.
Right.
Never. Smitty, you didn't play in the P4. You only went to the MAC.
Right.
So there's always like these barriers, and I'm just like, wait,
they'll find something, Steve. No matter who you are, what you did, they'll find something to pick.
Right. Every great movie critic, none of them has an Oscar or an Academy Award for producing or directing a film.
Hey, it's crazy too. I'm reading the comments last night. That's what brought this up, Smitty, because Steve brought this up last night. We're reading the comments, and they're trying to just destroy Shaun King and I on the Lamar take. And we're like, who the fuck are these nobodies? Yeah, these nobodies never played their coach, but they're bringing down Shaun King's stats in the playoffs.
Yeah. Here's the issue. Shaun said something about whether they won or lost. The first thing he would have done with Lamar is would have brought up that play and critiqued it. There's an old saying. And Mario Cristobal uses it, and I think it's brilliant. If it's not okay in losing, it's not okay in winning.
Yep.
And coach it or allow it.
Bill Walsh used to always say about his own quarterback grading system, he would say to the people, whether his own players or media, don't ever think
I'm getting out of here. Come on over to YouTube. I'm about to smoke
percentage
six.
of passes that you complete is accurate. It's not accurate to me because, in other words, if you ran a quick slant and that ball was here, instead of here where that guy can get upfield, he'd say, I'm downgrading you for that. I don't care if they caught the ball. I want that ball on the front shoulder, on the name or the breastplate of your number right here. Now, if you throw it here, I'm going to give you a minus. I'm going to downgrade you. So where did Bill Walsh play in the NFL? He never took a snap. Never played one down in the National Football League. How far do we go with this?
Here it is right here. Bailey, share the screen. This is it right here, Steve. I was showing this yesterday. This is a QB grade. It was one of my sheets, but Shaun and I would compare notes and we talked. But I don't care if this was a win or a loss.
Right.
This is the grade. This is the system. This is what it is. Offensive call. I put the call in there. I put the actual, did you survey the scene? Was everybody legal? Did we have a legal shift? Was everybody in the right spot? I watch every goddamn game, 90 clips, 90 plays of both end zone and wide. And did you command the huddle? Did you have the right technique when you snapped the football? Was there a loaf? Ball security? Snap count? And then I total point one play. I do that for every play. And then there's comments. Stop hopping. Come to a stop on the top of the drop so you can transfer your weight correctly. Good ball, but your feet will help correct your elbow and your platform. So if you get your feet outside your throat, your shoulders, Steve, guess what? Now my platform changes because my feet are too wide or they're too narrow. And I said, keep your off-arm platform solid. A lot of these guys throw the ball, and this arm goes all over the place. I told him, hey, keep it solid when you throw the rocks or slap the back wall. And you got to take notes and put notes in. And it doesn't matter if it's a win or a loss, Steve, Smitty. You know that, Smitty.
On that play.
You blew somebody, Smitty, you got a fucking C grade no matter what, if you won or lost.
100%.
On that 2-point conversion, I noticed this immediately. That's a sprint right option concept. Everyone runs it. That's a play that Bill Walsh, West Coast offense, has run for years. Okay, anytime you're on a certain hash, I always say, here comes sprint right option, because it's a legalized pit play, right? And the Dwight Clark catch, that's actually a sprint right option. He was the second option on the back end of the end zone. I've never actually seen a guy pump it. I'm just telling you, when you see that play run perfectly, you don't actually pump. You don't.
Hey, Steve, here's what I want to be clear with, and I didn't mention it yesterday. Me and Shaun were talking about all this with Smitty. You throw the arrow route now or never. I mean, it's just rule number one, Smitty. You don't come back. You don't miss the arrow or the flat route. Look deep. and then come back and throw the flat route again. It's too late.
Right.
That's what we call box score throws. You either take the flat now or never. There's no coming back to a flat route. I'm just telling you, that's football 101, especially in the NFL when the speed and everything changes like this. In the red zone, it's 1,000 times faster than it was being the 35-yard line. So that arrow route is thrown now or never. For him to come out and pump fake and all that, that's all we're saying. It's everyone's fault, Steve. At the end of the day, the team lost. I'm just saying there's little things that you can still tell the truth about certain things, mechanics, whatever. Mark Andrews is 6'6". I don't want him coming down here to catch a football on the goal line. I want him doing this. That's just me. That's the coaching point of it is all I was saying. It's not like Lamar didn't have a fucking unbelievable drive to get back in it. Steve, you thought he's had his best season ever. I think this is his best season ever.
You know what I don't like about the criticism of Lamar on Sunday? So unless he plays a perfect game, it's just on him. All right, he had 2 turnovers. I get it. But I still thought he played better than Josh Allen.
I said that yesterday.
I mean, but it's like unless you play a perfect game. Well, who lost the game? No, not the Ravens. Lamar lost it, really.
Right.
It's a 45-man team game. To me, I think it's a little unfair the way we judge quarterbacks. On the back of a bubble gum card, they never have the 1-loss record. They don't. Yeah. And to me, Lamar still is in that area. He's in his physical prime. I think he's getting a little bit better technically and fundamentally inside the pocket every year. They still have a window. The Ravens are a strong organization. I have not closed the door on Lamar putting on a couple of rings by the time it's done. I thought this was one of the years they could have done it, and it just felt like I'm just telling you guys, I know people are going to disagree. I did not come away from that game thinking the better team actually won.
I didn't either. Man.
That's the truth. But again, I know I don't have 5 Super Bowl rings. I didn't play.
I don't have none either.
All these people that rip Trump, and I'm going to say, well, excuse me, have you been president? I mean, see, how far are we going to go with this?
Right.
You know?
Hey, Shaun, Steve, I also like we're looking at this, and I'm looking at these games, hindsight 2020, and there's only one winner every year. It is what it is, but like at the end of the day, you're going to be judged on ultimate wins, and like. I just think that's what's going to end up biting a lot of these guys when especially if Mahomes keeps winning like he is. But it is what it is. Steve, I got to dive into some college football with you in a particular case that may be changing the landscape and setting a precedent in college football. Another one, by the way. We keep setting game-changing precedents in football. We in college football. We keep making up rules and putting in laws and going to court and battling for extra years and all this shit. But Smitty, I'll read it for the audience. So there's a corner named Xavier Lucas in Wisconsin who has entered his name into the transfer portal after one season with the school Wisconsin. And Wisconsin denied his request, claiming the 2-year revenue sharing agreement, to Steve Kim's point that you should be signing contracts. He signed, by the way, subsequently on December 2nd, is absolutely binding. And he additionally signed a separate deal with Wisconsin's NIL collective. And the NCAA bylaws mandate that universities must enter players into the transfer portal within 2 business days of a request. So 2025 marks the first year schools can sign revenue sharing contracts with players and directly pay them for their services. However, the contracts are not technically allowed until the House settlement reaches final approval. The final hearing will take place April 7th of 25. According to Heitner, the contract Lucas signed is only a memorandum of understanding, and it isn't enforceable until the settlement is finalized. Steve, where are you at with this Miami deal?
I don't look. I'm at a point now, and look, I'm a Miami Hurricane diehard. I believe he's on the roster. I think the NCAA actually admitted, hey, there's no real such thing as a transfer portal. Guys can just go in and out when they want. So you've created this anarchy. Darren Heitner has been doing various podcasts. I believe he was on with my guys, Roman from the Orange Bowl boys. Also, Danny Money, Petey Ruiz. Shout out to you guys. Kane's Inside, good friends of mine. You guys want to punch those up. He'll explain it. Coach, I'm at a point, I'm like, okay, let's get the spring ball. Let's see who leaves after spring ball. I'm going to start paying attention to this in June and July, and that's it. Like, I've kind of checked out. Even yesterday, I'm like, let's get this game over with. I mean, it doesn't involve any of my teams. But this is what they have created. But, Smitty, what I've told you this for about a year and a half now. If this is pro football, let's have multi-year contracts that are binding on both sides that come with guaranteed money, bonuses, money that is guaranteed that must be delivered, but also certain standards in terms of playing. You can't sit out. You got to actually kind of sort of go to class once in a while. You can only, but again, I think a lot of this could be eradicated if you didn't have a transfer culture where, number one, I know people are going to disagree. And yes, I never ran the NCAA, but anyway, I would say you have to sit out 1 year, regardless.
Smitty thinks that too.
You can only transfer once. The other thing that I would do is to make sure that players don't leverage their own school. Let's say I'm Steve Kim, greatest place kicker in NCAA history. I'm John Lee 2.0. I'm not, but let's say, oh, this school's offering me, let me put myself in the transfer portal to scare my current team to up my deal. No. I think once you go to divorce court, get the fuck out. You can't go back to your school.
Final.
But final. Like, if you want to put yourself in the portal, get the stepping, as Martin told Gino one time. Okay, that's it. So all you need to do are these certain things. I would even put in a rule, old SEC rule. You can't transfer within conference. All right, so for all those people saying, why are you trying to restrict player movement? Well, that's my opinion. You could have yours. I'm going to have mine. This is what I would do. What you would do, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree. It's just crazy to me, man. Spring ball in winter conditioning starts January. Like, winter conditioning in college football is January. That is when, I don't know, I'm an old Anage guy, but the offseason is where champions are built. Always been that way. In my opinion, it'll always be that way. Yeah. Like, you're strapping these coaches that you will fire in a New York Minute for losing. You're strapping them to limitations when you don't even get your team until April, May, and June now. This is like high school. I don't get it. I don't understand why the committees.
It used to be that as soon as the spring game was over or spring ball, you're like, okay, that's my team. We're going to have to ride with it. We're going to have to find a way. Now there's a whole new waiver. Like, okay.
Well, that's our team accompanied with our freshman signees from high school that we'll get in the summer and most likely redshirt 90% of them, and maybe we'll get a few gyms that are ready because they've been working out and doing the regiment. We sent them after we signed them. Right. That's what we used to do. We used to send them the workout plan. We send them the offense and the defensive playbook. They're not sending shit no more because these kids are going to a school for fucking 2 days like the kid at Oregon who goes through playoff practice and then transfers to Cal before ever even going to see a class. Like, this is a joke, man. Like, come on.
Here's the issue, though. Even if you are a powerhouse, as much as I don't like it, you have to use the portal if you're going to compete, and you better have an NIL package that is steep. Ohio State's a perfect example. They've had $20 million plus salary cap, which will now become 5 years from now, we're going to be like, man, that Ohio State team was underpaid.
Right.
Yeah. But look, Caleb Downs, he'll be a top 10 pick. Their cleanup safety, great player. Alabama. Shaun Judkins, one half of their dynamic duo. Ole Miss. Will Howard, Kansas State. They don't win without these guys. They don't win at all. So you better be able to marry your own recruiting, your own evaluation, then development, and then you better pick up the supplemental pieces. If you don't do it, you're going to end up being Dabo Sweeney, who, by the way, he's now using the portal. He understood. He got it. He said, I'm putting myself at a competitive disadvantage if I try to do it the olden way.
Hey, it's like Sark and them told me a couple years ago, you got to keep up with the Joneses now. That's what it is. They keep up with the Joneses now because if you don't, I mean, it is what it is. Look what's going to happen. That's why, in my opinion, though, keeping up with the Joneses will continue to drive coaches out of college football to the NFL.
I agree.
Period.
I
That's
agree.
What it is.
And look, and I'm gonna repeat myself here. If I am a big time booster or donor at a school, if you leave my program, I would just tell them, good luck, young man, and you see my phone number, delete it. delete it. You're dead to me. I'm not getting you a job. I'm never helping. Now, if you graduate from our school and exhaust your eligibility at my program, you're a hurricane for life.
Right.
Okay. So, but in 5 years from now, when you're down on your luck and you could use a recommendation, if I see your phone number, I'm going to tell you there's going to be two things that happen. I'm going to push that red button and I'm going to delete your number. Or number two, I'm going to say, hey, you know that guy that poached you from us? Yeah, call him. Click. That's it. These things have to go both ways. Loyalty or disloyalty has to run in opposite directions at the same time.
That's life. It's a life lesson too. And that's why, to your point, Steve, I agree with you wholeheartedly that, to me, if they just change one rule and put the portal, the transfer back to the one-time transfer, sit out a year, to me, that changes everything. Just one rule, one change. And now players have to really think, like, okay, is it really that bad here? Do I really want to leave? Do I want to miss a whole year of football? Like, it changes the scope of everything. The transfer portal now gets diluted completely, which makes these coaches have to go back to the old school way of going to high schools and going inside, talking to grandma and mom and trying to really recruit. To me, that fixes everything.
You know, I'm reading a book called, I forgot what it's called, Fear No Man. It's about the building of the 1991 Washington Huskies. They're the co-national champions, but obviously the second best team behind Miami. But it talked about how Don James,
Mario Bailey
was on that team. Napoleon Coffin, the great Steve Entman, Dana Hall, DeMarco Farr, Ed Cunningham, Brunel, Hobart. But anyway, there were a couple players that said early on in the process, I was thinking about transferring. I didn't think Washington was the place. Maybe, and they said, you know what? That whole thing of sitting out a year, they said, we might as well just stay here. Yep. And guess what? They're glad that they're stayed at Washington. Their lives would have been different. Their careers would have been different if they would have just had the easy route to just leave and, hey, in 3 months from now, I'm suiting up.
One thing I actually agree with JB on is sometimes young people, we like, you need barriers, or you need something to like protect you from yourself, because you just don't know any better. And like things, you know, coaches yell at you, or you're not playing as much as you wanted to your sophomore year, and just because of your emotions and people around you, you know, making comments, whether it's family, social media now, the added pressure, you'll just enter the portal and leave without even giving it full thought of what you have now. You know, when I played college ball, I didn't redshirt. So, yeah, I played early, but I didn't become a full-time starter till my junior year. You know, so I had to really grind and wait and sit back. And it was games I played 5 plays. It's like, it's what it is.
Yeah. Nowadays, you'd have been gone. Yeah. You'd probably want to bounce out of there. Not to your fault. I'm just saying, like, nowadays, people would have been, like, leaving like crazy. There's no way they're staying 3 years and not playing.
Right.
Like, not nowadays in this landscape. I don't see it, but it is what it is. Steve, I got to ask you, college football, it just seems – I watched that game last night with you, and we're kind of like going through the motions. It seems like it's because of – is it more of the 12-team playoff, and we're sitting here questioning the teams in it, the seeding process of it, or is it just the sheer length of it and it's drawn out?
A lot
because Joe Klatt said this, Steven, you brought it up. This is supposed to be the pinnacle of our sport, the destination for every player, coach, and fan, yet somebody decided that playing the national championship on a Monday night, deep into the NFL playoffs, was a good idea. The mismanagement of college football has been egregious. Do you agree with that?
Yes, and Joe Klatt had a great idea. He said, why not make Army-Navy the opening week 0 game? I mean, it'd be unbelievable spotlight. You can move the game to different parts of the country, which they've done. I remember as a kid, I think it was in like early 80s, mid-80s, Army-Navy actually took place at the Rose Bowl on a sunny day, and it was a huge event. I remember we were all fired up about it as kids and all the people with military backgrounds. They celebrated that week up into the game. I think Napoleon Kaufman was on that team. Here's the issue. When I was growing up, and Coach, when college football was really at its, I think, fundamental roots, that season basically ended within 6 or 7 days of New Year's Day, and you felt like, okay, perfect ending. Now, unless your team is specifically in it, if you're Ohio State or Notre Dame, it just felt like it dragged on. It really did. So I agree with Joel Klatt. He has a lot of common sense to this, in my view, and they're never going to go back. And, Coach, you're going to hate to hear this. In my opinion, the perfect number of playoff teams was 8. They've gone to 12, and before you know it, they're going to 16, Coach, whether you like it or not.
I know. Smitty said, "Fuck it, put 64 teams
I
in."
didn't say that. I agree with Steve. I actually said on the show as well, 8 teams was a sweet spot.
Teams is perfect.
Perfect number was 8.
No, actually, 2 is the best.
No,
See, you're being ridiculous.
Let me ask you this, Steve. Do you know that we are as close as ever before to having football marry up with basketball? It's fucking March Madness. Like, what are we doing? Jesus Christ, it's February.
I don't think it's that, but Coach, here's another thing. Why is there 10 days in between each game for teams?
I don't know. Like, what are we doing?
If you're going to make it the NFL, make it the NFL. Either you play Saturday, Sunday, then Saturday, Sunday, right? I mean, I don't get, you're turning everything into, all right, we'll see you in a week and a half. Well, okay. If you're injured, maybe that's great, but they got to shorten up. Sometimes less is more, and sometimes more becomes less.
Ooh. Contrary to belief, JB.
Yeah. Well, my micro thinker counterpart here is just not really ready for the conversations, so we're going to have those. But, Steve, are you on Whitlock?
I'm on Whitlock, and by the way, Sunday, we're doing Championship Sunday, though, right, Coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I'll be over there.
JB was not playing this at all.
Because remember,
Steve don't come for NFL. Steve don't do NFL Paloozas usually. That's why.
Usually on Sundays, I have to write my articles. But this time, I will write my article on Saturday night. The 2 Sundays a year that I break, even when I'm not traveling, so that's different. But our NFL Championship weekend and Super Bowl. Those are the 2 weeks where I say I get everything done on a Saturday. I turn everything in, whatever I need to do, prep work for 3 knockdown rule. I get it done because those to me, I actually think the NFL Championship weekend, the doubleheaders, is the best pure weekend of NFL football. Yeah, it's just raw football.
I think Eda's going to try to slide through Sunday, and I'll invite some folks. Yeah, we might have some Palooza. See if Ruben can come play some poker.
Yeah, come by, Darnell. We'll talk some ball.
All right, man. I'll see what I can do. Just for you, Steve.
Yeah, you can only come once every quarter of the fiscal year.
I know I'm coming to the Super Bowl for sure. That's already locked.
The Super Bowl game.
That's it. That's his day. That's his day.
Okay.
That's his day.
Tacos, chips and dip, everything set up. What?
Nothing. Steve, we'll see you Thursday.
See you Thursday. See you later, guys.
All
Appreciate you.
I might pull up Sunday. We'll see. Sunday, I too have a Sunday job.
You want me to give you an update? You want to give you an update?
Yeah.
I got a group. I got a team that will be dealing poker, serving, let's say like a hostesses. Let's say they'll be wearing certain stuff. That'll be be cool. Be a cool little vibe on the Super Bowl Sunday. Already done. Already confirmed. Confirmed. Huh?
For this Sunday or Super Bowl?
Super Bowl, confirmed. It's confirmed, yeah. Super Bowl is going to be a big deal because we're going to have poker tattoo, and then I got hosted with the bartender, and they're going to serve drink, walk around, so it's going to be cool. I wouldn't bring your wife to that one in particular. Okay, cool.
The dogs and stuff.
Yeah, let's say the dogs is the reason I would keep her away. Let's do that. Let's go with that one. We got a lot going on.
I'm having a lot of drinks that day.
Why?
Just because I got a feeling the drinks will be just made perfect that day.
That's your feeling.
Yeah.
We're gonna go on the boat Thursday. Ruben and I are gonna jump in. Will you be joining us? Jumping in the water?
No, I'm not going to boat for a little while.
No, that's not the question. Will you jump in the water with us?
No. Hell no. I'm not jumping in the ocean water ever. For what?
Will you play with Ash and jump in the water same day?
No. I won't do that.
Can Ash greet you at the door and then come here in the house, and then we'll go to the boat with Ash and jump in the water?
No. I can't do that. Give me one more. Give me one more scenario.
Will you meet Ash at the door, put him on the side gate, lock him away by yourself, come back into the party unscathed?
Yes, I can do that one. That's what I can do. Ash likes me, so I can, even though he's annoying sometimes, I can take Ash, throw him to the side. He won't bite me. I'll lock him up, throw a little treat over there to make him run over there to it, lock the gate real quick, run out, and get back to the party unscathed. Probably a little slobber on me, though. Probably a little slobber, but they ain't really.
Will we do another show on the yacht this year?
Yeah, this year, yeah. Probably in the summer. It was freezing cold. It was freezing. So probably June. Look at Robe. Look at Robe over there. What's up, Robe? Hola. What's up, Robe? Robe clowning.
How you know I'm looking at Ruben?
I know everything. I know everything, homie.
If I insure you for the year with Allstate, who pulled out of California, would you go on the boat next week and do the show?
They pulled out, homie. I ain't got. I won't be insured, homie. I can't trust it. I die, and they're like, "Oh, never mind. We actually don't want to give the life insurance package over to the wife."
We got a lovely lady joining us here in a minute. Sheena Quick, she's an insider for the Carolina Panthers. She covers everything.
That's my girl.
I've known her longer though, but
I've
anyway,
been closer to her though than you, so.
Because why?
Who you was?
Who's
that?
that?
You gotta ask her about. Do you remember what Doc asked us to ask her?
Make sure you ask that question right out the gate.
I'm saying, do you remember though, like verbatim?
Make sure you ask that question right out the jump.
I understand. I want to make sure you know though before I ask.
Yeah, I'm gonna remove myself when you ask her the question, so I can study your questioning. I want to make sure that you ask her the question that Doc wanted to be here. So it's about Hubbard and Robinson or whatever his name is.
It's actually about Brooks, homie. Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah, Brooks Robinson, whatever, same shit.
His second ACL, and he's curious to know if the doctors knew that it was some sort of issue that prolonged it, because he's supposed to return in 4 to 6 weeks, then return to play till week 10. So he wants to know, did they have some insight on some issues similar to OBJ, when we found out later that he had a partial tear in his ACL, but played the entirety of that season until the Super Bowl, where he ended up fully tearing it out. So I'm a bad boy.
Can Sheena Quick cover football? To everybody's one asking here, since I'm so hard on women on football and all that shit. Can Sheena Quick do her job efficiently and effectively? Here's the thing. Sheena doesn't act like she's breaking down cover 2. Sheena actually is covering as an insider, and I know a lot of women that do it. I've had several on this show. So I want to know, Smitty, to the chat's purposes here, can the two be exclusive? Because we already talked about the mini cons and all that. Can a woman cover the game and then come in and actually give you, hey, this is what he said, blah, blah, blah. I love her text because she talks about like the real life part of these guys. I call them kids, these players. She covers the cat, what's his name, the country motherfucker. Eating the goddamn raccoons and the possums and all that shit. Like, she covers the life stories of the kids. I think it's great.
Well, you know what I say when it comes to women. I think women belong in our sport, in the sport of football. So, I mean, the chat, you don't need to ask me that question.
I don't believe that, but I believe that you can cover it as a woman, as an insider, and do
a part of the sport. So you can't be half pregnant. Maybe. You can't be half pregnant. Either they belong in sport or they don't. So make a choice.
Can't be what?
You can't be halfway pregnant, homie. Either they belong in sport or they don't. So
you can be half pregnant.
Orion Walker says, Smitty, do you say pop or soda? It's pop, homie.
No, it's Coke.
It's pop.
It's Coke. It's Coke.
It's pop. It's pop.
Pop goes the weasel and the weasel goes pop. That's like a song. There's not pop. Never been pop.
It's pop.
Pop means nothing. Pop is nothing.
It's pop.
Pop is like a pop. Like it ain't nothing.
Coke is like one drink. Coke is like a Coke. That's one drink.
Hey, Ruben, give me a Coke. What do you want? You want Pepsi, Mountain Dew, Squirt?
No, if you think give me a Coke, I'm gonna give you that red can.
Coke sets the whole thing. Coke is the whole.
That's like me saying, "Hey, Ruben, give me a Sprite." Oh, I want a Dr. Pepper or like what? That makes no sense, homie.
No, that's not it. Coke is the product creator. Coke is the whole overall like bubble of it. It's like the brain. When you brainstorm before you put the bubble, and then you branch out lines, and then in the bubble you put what? Coke, and then you put lines out, and then I got Shasta, Tab, Squirt, Dr. Pepper, Pepsi, Cherry Pepsi, Mountain Dew. That's all the lines on the outside of the big bubble. The big bubble though has Coke in the middle, and then you branch off from there. Never heard of that?
Nah, I don't. It's pop number 1, soda number 2, and way somewhere at the bottom is where you put Coke at, I guess. That sounds crazy. Coke is just, you're the only person I've ever heard say it. It's you and old white folks who smoke squares who got cancer. And they're not, and like, those are the people that like say Coke. I don't know why, but those are the people who say Coke. They eat peanuts, they drink their Coke, and they say, I want a Coke. And they smoke, and they're sick as fuck, and they call it Coke. I don't know why.
I think pop is like feminine.
Pop is like hood, though. Hey, homie, throw me a pop. You know what I mean? That sound hard. Like, can I get a soda? I want a soda. That sounds soft as fuck. A soda.
Ruben, how gay did that sound coming out of his mouth? Pause. Anyway, let's dive into.
Ruben over there asleep, homie. I know you lying.
Nah, he on his phone. He on his phone watching. Ruben. He's like, he got cringe vibes. He said he got cringe vibes when you said, "Hey, homie, throw me a pop."
Ruben just sleeps all day though. That motherfucker sleep right now.
Yeah, that's all I can do. A dolphin just fucking flew over the boat and he sleeps.
It be middle of the party, homie. It be he be middle. Over sleep with Ash humping him. Like, it's crazy, homie.
Ash just almost did R-word him just now. He was jumping.
I've said that, homie.
Balls by here. Like his balls were here. It's fucking weird. It's crazy. Shout out to Ruben. No, I did not play at Dominguez. G Wizzle.
G Wizzle.
How many times are you gonna fucking ask?
G Wizzle, ask him one more time.
God damn.
It's my cousin. He do what he wants.
You got 1,400 in here on YouTube. Pound the like. We got another 200 on the other channel. Appreciate you. What?
Nothing.
What are you looking at, homie?
Little comment on the screen. From Ruben.
Where?
From Ruben.
Oh, Ruben commented?
Yeah.
Why you say, like him and Lucy got something going?
I ain't never said nothing like that. Chill out, homie. That's not what I do.
I'm saying I don't get what you're saying.
Not what I do, homie.
I don't know. Hey, Smitty, real quick though.
I gotta leave right at 9 because I gotta drive to Fox. We got a meeting. We got a meeting to discuss some Super Bowl stuff. So I gotta figure out what's going on with that.
Let me ask you something real quick. Rex Ryan was in discussion to being the head coach for the Jets. He's been there before. He was on ESPN saying, "I think I'm the best fit." I don't disagree actually or argue it, but it seems like they'll hire possibly Aaron Glenn or something. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But his brother, another wily NFL veteran underneath the Ryan family, Rob and Rex, obviously the son of legendary Buddy Ryan. Buddy Ryan, who took off on a coach back in the day. Would love to see it. Where are you at with this hire, knowing the Ryans, the Ryan family? They're nasty, goat, dip, old school, fucking get after it. They want to be fucking, go 11 hats on the ball, see ball, hit ball, chase the ball down, pursuit, play nasty. They want to do all of that. Where are you at with this hire here in LA? First of all, La La Land in USC, a place that's been bad on defense for a long, long time.
Love it, Jason. Love it. I know you're big on guys being from LA. I know they're not, but this is different. The Ryan family, like to your point, are all hard-nosed or wired the same way. To me, beyond just the X's and O's, it's the energy and the attitude that they bring when they walk into a room. They're the same way. I think this right here will change USC's program around instantly. I think this next year USC is gonna be in the playoffs. I think they're gonna be like a 10-2 team, 11 like right in the mix because Rob Ryan, will change the entirety of this defense and make them be physical, play fast, play with an attitude, play with a swagger, and don't be surprised if USC is a defensive team, meaning that their offense puts up enough points to just score. I mean, to win the game, but the tune of the team, the focus of the team is more on the defensive side, not the offensive side. That's something that you usually don't see, with SC, because obviously with what's your boy name, the head coach? I'm the brain fart. Head coach.
Lincoln Riley.
Usually when a Lincoln Riley team, it's all about offense and quarterback play. I think Ryan here changes everything. So I love the hire.
I think he'll be fired in 4 weeks.
4 weeks from now, or like week 4 of the season?
Like 4 weeks from now.
For what? He's gonna like punch a kid or something?
I never put a hand on a kid. It's not for him. He's gonna be too. He'll be fired in like 4 or 5 weeks. I hate to say it, man, but it's true. Like it is what it is. He's not meant for college. He's not meant for college, Smitty. And number one, number two, I got to be honest. When he gets to see this whole shit show of college football, he's gonna be like, "What the fuck did I get into?" And when he cusses out a first kid, and that motherfucker enters the portal, and then he cusses out the second kid, they're gonna be like, "What in the fuck is this?" And he's gonna get to a culture that's offensive laden, offensive minded, laid back, soft, and he's gonna be like, "I'm not doing this shit." Like, I could just see it. Whether it's a firing or not, I might just be overzealous, but out of there in 4 weeks.
But why would they hire him though? They know who Rob Ryan, and the Ryan family are. Like, they're not stupid. They know what type of man he is. So,
guys get hired all the time. I mean, the head coaches leave head coaching jobs. What do you mean?
I'm saying, but if you're hiring him, you want him to be who he is. It's like hiring Jason Brown, expecting Jason Brown to be buttoned up and not say a cuss word, not yell and talk crazy to players, not go fight other coaches. Like, you know what he is. You know what he's going to do when you put him on your staff.
Hey, Smitty, let me before Sheenan walks in here, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
When is enough enough?
Today.
I can't wait to show you this fucking shit show graphic. When is enough enough, homie? Like, it's a joke. It's a mockery. A kid entered the transfer portal. How old are you?
I'm 31.
What do you think about this?
East Carolina punter Luke Larson has officially entered the NCAA transfer portal today. Larson is 32 years old. He's the older player. He's the oldest player in college football. Hold on. I got questions. Was he in the military?
I don't give a fuck if he was in Greenpeace and a Mormon mission, homie. I don't give a fuck.
Was it Mormon mission?
Go bag groceries. Go teach a class. Go coach. Go fucking be a GA. Do something. If he was 32 in the military, Smitty, then he's got a fucking retirement then. Stop making excuses for this shit. This fucking guy that looks like fucking buzzing with the boys is going to fucking take away a scholarship opportunity from an 18 to 21-year-old kid coming out of high school or JUCO that's now like, oh, fuck, I got a 32-year-old grown-ass man bombing Pat McAfee punts on a fucking Saturday at fucking East Carolina or wherever.
Partying in the village with 19 and 20-year-olds, chugging beers, buying shots for everybody because he has money. He has a full-time fucking 9 to 5. He has
I see right now, walking in the dorm, fucking. I got a fundamental problem, homie. Like, when are the parents gonna say, "Who's your dad?" Oh, that's our kicker. That's kicker where? That's our kicker on the football team. If I'm the dad, right, I'm walking my daughter in the dorm for the first time and I see a 32-year-old football player, I'm sitting there thinking, there's a fundamental problem. I don't want this grown-ass man in my fucking dorms with my daughter. Like, no one's even talking about the little-ass shit like that, and I'm just fucking having fun with it, but I'm being serious. This is a grown-ass man. This is a bad look for I don't know for what. For a lot of shit, it's a bad look for football, bad look for college.
Homie in a dorm playing like 2K. They smoking weed together. They got the little chicks, the sorority girls in there. Like
this guy's fucking feeding his second daughter. And got fucking insurance claims out on fucking his house. He's worried about his fire insurance claim that he just had in his North Carolina house that got fucked up with the hurricane. He's over there dealing with grown men issues.
Hey,
and now
homie. This motherfucker didn't refinance his crib and took out a loan. Now he
got a second out. He got a HELOC. Motherfucker took a HELOC out on his house. 32 years old, trying to crack some young boys.
Homie, he got a yacht.
Yeah, homie. Smitty, he's older than you.
To give you a little context for the chat, the audio listeners, Luke Larson is originally from Australia and didn't start playing American football until he was 28. In his 5-year college football career, he has recorded 174 punts with 7,099 yards and a 40.8 yard average. The guy's a beast. He's a monster. He probably will be getting drafted actually after this, and he'll be in the NFL, so he's probably 50.
No, he won't.
Luke Larson is a LeBron James of college football.
Shout out to everybody in the South. Houston's under snow. Louisiana doesn't get snow a lot. It snows up to here. It's crazy.
I've been there a couple weeks.
Not no more.
Yes, it is.
Not now.
I'm riding into PJ. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna be out there Thursday, Friday of Super Bowl week. I'll come back Saturday. So we gotta figure out Thursday, Friday a little bit. We'll figure it out.
What's going on?
I'm gonna be in New Orleans Thursday and Friday going into Super Bowl week. So, I'm gonna have my laptop and stuff with me. I just gotta figure out all the nuances of my day, but I should be good.
Like Georgia's getting snow, Tennessee's 20 degrees. It's minus 28 in Minnesota.
Ain't Bailey in Tennessee right now?
Yep.
Yeah, he probably snowed in.
Look at Louisiana right now.
Show me the video.
I'm showing it to you right now.
Hurry up. Damn. What part? Is that Shreveport?
The hottest part, wherever that is.
I might text the homegirl and see.
That's Louisiana.
No, it ain't, homie.
That is really Louisiana. That shit look like Kansas.
Ain't no way, homie. That look like Naptown.
That's Louisiana, dog.
No way, homie.
It is. That's Monroe, Louisiana. Houston, bruh. Houston. The 5th Ward is under snow.
So what are you saying right now? You have some big conspiracy behind this, I'm assuming, or what?
Yeah.
Your boys and all, like your guys. So did he change the weather? What happened on me?
Before we get to that, though, one of our super special guests, thanks for honoring the show, coming on today in your busy schedule. An insider for the Carolina Panthers, Nora of all things.
Keep going.
Fine young sister.
Give me 2 more things.
Beautiful hair. Olive, glowy skin. Our main girl, Sheena Quick. Bring her in the show.
Y'all are funny. Oh, God, I'm so close.
It's all good.
Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this kid right here who just entered the portal? Smitty turned 31 Sunday, Sheena. This dude right here is 32.
And he's about to be I thought it was a joke. So he's legit 32 years old.
Oh, yeah, he's about to be the kicker for the Carolina Panthers next year.
First of all, don't do us. Not us. Don't do the Panthers. Don't you do that, okay? First of all,
he's going from East Carolina to the Carolina Panthers immediately.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. How did this happen? How was he allowed to do this?
So here's the context. So he's originally from Australia and didn't start playing American football until he was 28 years old. So that's kind of, I guess, it's some loophole right there. So he didn't start his clock until he was 28.
And
I don't know.
That's a you problem, homie. That's not the problem of my 21-year-old kid that's been in high school getting a lack of getting recruited now. Like, this is crazy.
But
let's be real.
That's insane, actually. You remember back when Chris Wanke was like the old head, and we were like, oh my God, he's 1,000,000 years old. He's geriatric. And here comes this guy whose AARP card should be in the mail next week, and he's still kicking. That's crazy.
And apparently he's pretty good, too.
I mean, he better be 32. He better be. I swear I thought that was a joke. I was like, nah, that's, this one of those, it was a tweet. And I was like, maybe it's one of those satire pages. I didn't think in 1,000,000 years that was like accurate.
This is getting ridiculous.
The portal, sir, you should be entering into somebody's job force.
Yeah.
He got kids. He got, insurance claims. He took a second out on a HELOC on his third house. Like,
he definitely got a mortgage and a vacation property at this
401k, he got everything. You got to think, I ain't played football in 10 years, and he's older than me.
Yeah. And he's taking away jobs. He's taking away scholarships, Smitty, from these young scholarships.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Sheena, I gotta ask you straight up: is our country bunking? Because I recruit South Carolina, and I love the kids. I think it's the most talented per capita state in the union. That's what I used to say to everybody when I recruited South Carolina. Our man Xavier, is he just really that country?
I think he's in the trenches. You didn't see him skin that squirrel?
Yeah, I saw this. This
He's
is crazy.
in the trenches. I feel like if anybody had any doubt and they thought that the accent was fake or they thought that he was just like putting on a persona, no, I think he lives this. Like he is.
Oh, he definitely does.
He's in the trenches. Like he's at rodeos. He's hunting. He's riding horses. Everybody else is on the Xbox or the PlayStation. He's out skinning squirrels. I mean, he lives this. This is his life. I mean, it's kind of fascinating though because it's just so genuine, and it'll be interesting to kind of see as he acclimates throughout the league how much of that he's able to retain.
Yeah,
no doubt.
I love it because it's so different than anybody else. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And often you're the one who, like, for whatever reason, you're able to bring out like those best stories. And I think I even saw you, if I'm not mistaken, you tried a little bit of that. Was it some raccoon you ate?
It happened so fast. It happened so fast, and I'm no punk, so I couldn't just be like, nah, I don't want it. Like once he offered, I was like, dang, I got to see it through. Like there's cameras rolling, I got to see it through. But it wasn't bad. It wasn't what I thought. It was not bad, y'all.
So like, okay, so I need to know.
JB's like, nah.
we get to the table, right? And we get to the dinner table. What is Sheena putting with it?
Okay, here we go.
Well, it ain't making it to my dinner table. I just tried it.
You gotta have something with it in case it's nasty. You gotta have something. Is it mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes? Yeah.
I don't feel like mashed potatoes should be used to cleanse the palate ever because it just doesn't have enough flavor. You got to get something. Maybe sweet potatoes. Sweet potatoes
probably do it.
Potatoes.
Yeah, potatoes and coon.
That sounds crazy. Yeah.
Hey, Sheena, I got to ask you something real quick because we got a rookie in the NFC playoffs and about to be possibly in a Super Bowl. A kid from my neck of the woods. I've been around him since he was a little kid. Jaden Daniels, who's out there playing like he's in a turkey bowl in the hood, in the street. Don't have a worry in his life. He don't care. He out here slinging it, running around, having fun. Looks like a kid that we grew up playing football. That's how you're supposed to play. Fun, relaxed, no stress. Jared Goff looked like he was tight as man. He was like, holy shit, where are you at with him versus Bryce Young, who's another kid I grew up watching out here in California, who struggled. Everybody wanted him out, blah, blah, blah. I thought he had one of the better years last year when I told Smitty, I said, last 5 games last year was unbelievable. Then this year, gets job snatch, comes back. Love to see it. And I love the kid, and I've known his dad and everybody forever. Where are you at with that? And that is football in good hands with the young QBs?
I think it is, but I think that everyone isn't going to have a Jaden Daniels situation, as you're kind of seeing with C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud was lighting it up last year, and then the inefficiencies across that offensive line kind of, put him in a situation similar to what Bryce Young was in last year. Better situation, but kind of similar. I think that the league is definitely in good hands, but the league has to be patient. Like when you have these quarterbacks going 1 and 2, these teams are drafted that high for a reason. It's because they sucked the year before. And it's usually not, they're usually not a quarterback away. Washington is a different type of situation. Dan Quinn has experience on the defensive side of the ball. Then you have Cliff Kingsbury.
Bobby Wagner came in, so leader, guy who won.
So, and then the Commanders got a couple of players from the Panthers that were kind of unhappy with the situation here last year, and Jeremy Chin and Frankie Louvu was a dog. So I think it's hard to kind of compare the two of those because they're two drastically different situations. But Jaden Daniels, to me, was always the better quarterback in this draft. People got zoned in on Caleb Williams. Everybody zones in on this consensus number one pick, and they just stay there. So the Bears and Caleb Williams, I feel like he's given a lot more grace than Bryce Young was given last year because he isn't 5'10". But that's a whole other conversation. But I think that, you're seeing the pieces put around Bryce, and Bryce is playing like Jaden Daniels. He's having more fun. These guys aren't giving a damn about blitzing defenses.
Very similar situations, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, very similar, though. First-year head coach, OC. You get here with Jaden, you get a first-year head coach, first-year OC. It starts with Jaden, I mean. And you get Quinn, who's been there, done that, taking the Falcons to a Super Bowl. You get Kingsbury, who's been a head coach, who's had a similar athletic guy in Kyler Murray. Yeah. And now you blend that together with a rookie, Jaden Daniels, who don't care about anything with in my opinion, top 5 receiver in football. Yeah, not caring. I think McLaurin's the top 5 wideout in football. I think he's underrated as hell in McLaurin. But yeah, so I just think it's crazy. I think it's very similar. Are the Panthers ready to take the next step as far as that goes? Because I know Smitty has a question for you from our doctor, Jesse Morse, who covers all of things NFL injuries. He used to work for the Patriots, and now he's in Miami and does a lot of NFL injury stuff. He comes on our show twice a week. He had a question for you, but I'll let Smitty ask that. But are you guys close, you think, on turning the tide or the table?
I think so, for sure. And I think that David Tepper has definitely taken a huge step back. You can see that in the football decisions that this team is making. And I think that was a big part of Dan Morgan coming on as GM. You're not going to push Dan Morgan around. Dan Morgan's not going to just tell you what you want to hear. And so I think that we saw that. I think the biggest indicator of that is the fact that Ejiro Evero still has a job after his defense gave up the most points in NFL history. If it were up to David Tepper, he'd be like, out of there. But Dan Morgan's a football guy. He's like, look, there were some injuries on that side of the ball. We focused on offense last offseason. Let's focus on defense this offseason and then kind of circle the wagons and see where we are. But if it were David Tepper, if David Tepper still had his hands in it, Evero would have been gone. Evero probably would have been gone during the season because he doesn't play that. So I think that that's a huge, huge step in the right direction. And I do think that once they get that defensive side of the ball set a little bit more, I think that the Panthers are really going to cook.
Got you. That'd be interesting. I feel the same way just watching from afar. But to JB's point, so we had our doctor on earlier, Dr. Jesse Morris, and he had a question about Jonathan Brooks, who I know had his second ACL surgery. Yeah. I heard it went successful, but the question he had was, so apparently initially he was supposed to come back, I guess, within 4 to 6 weeks. He didn't. He ended up not playing, I think, until week 10. So the question was there any insight, behind the scenes as far as was there any minor tears? Were there any setbacks? Why did it go from 4 to 6 playing in week 4 to 6 to not playing till week 10?
I don't think he was ready in week 10. I don't think he was ready in week 10. And we do have, you can tell those guys that are just itching to get back on the field. Like, I can't wait to get on the field. I think he was excited about it, but I didn't get that, oh my God, I got to get on the field vibe from him. And so to me, I'm like, why did you bring him back? I mean, hindsight is 2020. I felt like they did not need him. I felt like, Chuba was handling the load, and I don't know if Miles Sanders going out kind of quickened up that timeline for him.
Added pressure on him, right.
Right. And then you go out and you tear the same ACL. So now you're out for a whole other season. And possibly that could have a major impact on if he even has a career in the NFL. Right. Everybody hopes he shakes back. You obviously hate to see players go down like that, but I never got the sense that Jonathan Brooks was, banging the table to get on the field. That's just me. Yeah, that's just my opinion. And he very well could have been communicating this to the coaches, the trainers, the other players. I think that everybody wants to get on the field. Every athlete wants to play. No athlete wants to be on the side. And your comments just said Joy Taylor 2.0. No, baby. Not over here.
Not at all.
Not over here. Not happening, Captain. I don't care what's going on over there.
Shana. I'm at Fox, so we gonna keep that. We gonna.
Yeah,
I work
just not
with. So
happening.
we good. We chilling. We chilling.
Nothing's happening.
we chilling.
We're not even going there.
We're not going there. We're not going there.
Ignore
the comments. We got people here who are crazy. They get on me every day. Ignore the comments.
I know. I just want them to know I'm not the bigger person. Like you go low, I go lower.
I know. Sheena will go there. Sheena don't play around now.
Love it. You gotta be our female insider every week. We gotta have you over everyone else, me and all them. So anyway, let me ask you. If you would have had Brooks and Hubbard, is that like your Gibbs-Montgomery combination in Detroit? Like I thought it was. I thought it was very comparable. I thought that would have helped Bryce tremendously. And Miles Sanders going out, like you said, there was like you were now reaching for another back, right, to spell Hubbard. Like, is that something?
A good fire and ice combo, and I get it. I get the enthusiasm. The Panthers' offense was looking up, and so I get them wanting to get him on the field. It's like having a Ferrari parked that you're looking at, and it's like it might need a little tune-up, but I think it might be ready. Right. And you're kind of itching to get it out. That's what I think that situation was. Everybody was so ready to see that tandem, and now we might have to wait a whole other. Well, we'll definitely have to wait a whole other season.
I'm not familiar. What's your draft style? What's your draft? Where you picking?
They're picking at 8 again.
So, is there any possibility that Ashton Genty would be on the board? Too early.
It's a good question, but I feel like they gotta go defense. Like just looking at that. I mean, they had to win shootouts. Like I don't see how you draft anything other than defense with your first pick. Like it was a glaring issue, and it'll be the only thing that interests me as far as how they're going to draft defense, but the approach they take, because I actually hate the 3-4. I don't feel like it's successful. They don't have the players for it, and I feel like last year and a little bit of the season before is the result of seeing them try to force a square into a round hole. Like they were trying to force it, and you can't run that if you don't have the personnel for that, or you get what you got. You know what I'm saying? You get teams just playing Madden on you. Like they were doing trick plays and everything. Like you get teams disrespecting your defense, and you get, so many games were lost on the defensive side of the ball. So I think that their future with Evero and how far they see that future going is going to determine how they draft. Are they drafting for a 3-4 and Evero might be gone? Or are they drafting for a guy that can play in the 3-4-4-3? That's going to be interesting, but they definitely need edge help. They need help in that secondary, and they definitely need linebacker depth. So,
and I agree with you. 3-4, the 50 defense, as we call it, the 3-4. To me, you have to have a 2-gap nose guard that's
350.
They're undersized. They just don't have the personnel for that.
You got to have a double 2-gapper, man. He's got to control that whole thing. He makes the 3-4 go. If without a true nose,
Will Fort type. You know what I mean? Like,
and the nose that they had on the team last year with Frank Reich, they cut him before the season started and never replaced him. And I just didn't understand that.
Who was that?
It was like my 8-year-old was playing Madden.
Was that Luvo, the Uso?
No, Luvo was he was a linebacker, and he actually was offered more. Dan Morgan and them tried to keep him in Carolina. He was offered more, but he didn't want to play in Evero's system. He wanted to go play with
is on the Commanders, right? Yeah, Luvo's on the Commanders.
He's an all-pro. He's an all-pro.
Yeah, he's
balling. Now and then you have to have players that believe in your system. You know, a lot of people felt like Brian Burns wasn't going to, losing Brian Burns wasn't going to be a big deal. He didn't have the sack numbers. Now he's back to being, in the upper tier of edges. But a lot of people are looking at this sack number. And if you're just looking at stats, you're not noticing that Brian Burns was dropping back into coverage in Evero's scheme. Why is he dropping back into coverage? Sorry, y'all. I got emotional. I'm a defense. It was pissing me off.
I got a question for you. It's a little off the cuff here, but I know you've been, following the team for a while now. Sam Darnold, a guy who spent just a hot second, with the Panthers. Obviously, it didn't go, to his liking there. I think Baker actually started in front of him, even while he was there. But you look at his season and how it went. Obviously, it didn't end the right way, but he went 14 games with the Vikings. I guess my question is for you is it something within like the organization in Carolina? Like, what's the issue? Because how can a guy go win 14 games and look like that in Minnesota? But a couple years ago, he couldn't. He's seeing ghosts in Carolina or the Jets.
Well, he saw ghosts in New York now. You ain't gonna put that on Carolina. He saw them ghosts
all
when he came down
Carolina.
Everywhere he was at,
Yeah, he saw those ghosts up north. But to your point, like there wasn't any alignment. And for the first time this past offseason, we saw the Panthers hire their GM and their head coach in the same hiring cycle. I think before, you have this one coach that's like, we're going to play smash mouth football. You have this GM in here that's like, nah, we're not. So then you fire that GM, and then you hire another GM, and this GM might be like, okay, we're going to do smash mouth, but you fire that head coach. Now this next head coach wants to run, a Cali style offense. And so there just wasn't much alignment there. And now you're seeing alignment. You're seeing a clear-cut plan for this team, and they're making sure that they're making the moves to reach these certain goals. The biggest indicator was Frank Reich coming in after Steve Wilkes did such a good job on the back end of that 2022 season. They were a running team. They were running the ball down teams' throats.
Yeah.
And Frank Reich comes in and was like, oh, yeah, we're not going to do that. We're not smash mouth. I don't know what our identity is, but it's not that. Well, you had an offensive line that was geared to smash mouth football, and that's why Bryce Young was on his butt 62 times. Because they weren't pass protectors, but you were trying to run a different system and a different offense that wasn't, again, your personnel was not ideal for that. So that's what happens. You get some of those players that fall through the cracks. You get the Sam Darnolds, the Baker Mayfields, the Frankie Louvu's, the Jeremy Chins. You get these players that are like collateral damage due to the instability up top and not having 4 or 5 different play callers and, having 2 to 3 different DCs, 2 different head coaches, then the special teams coaches at interim. So you get those guys that kind of fall through the cracks and they go somewhere that's more established and you see them have success.
I agree. The crazy part is, like, we're talking about this. I'm looking at this like, all right, Steve Wilkes got a short end of the stick in this whole coaching. Yeah. I'm just saying, in professional opinion, he took that team that wanted to run through a wall for him at the end of 22. He goes to Frisco and has the number 1 defense basically in football and gets fired and replaced. And now the Niners look like they do on defense. It's crazy. And we don't want to talk about it, though. And now this guy's sitting out here, like, as an analyst somewhere, like, wait up, man. Like, that was the first.
He interviewed for the Falcons DC job, though.
Yeah,
that's weird. That's a good point, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that.
They could possibly have to see him twice a season.
That would be something, wouldn't it? The irony. I'm sure it'll be motivated those weeks.
They hired the interim Ulbrich from the Jets, which is interesting. But they have I know that Ulbrich and boy in Atlanta.
The Falcons already made a DC hire?
Okay. They hired Ulbrich. They hired Ulbrich what day? Was it, Bailey? I think last Friday or something.
Had to look at that. Let me ask you this before you go, Sheena. Like, what's the vibe in the locker room with Canales there, as the leader, as the head coach? Like, is the overall vibe like the team seems to like rally around him? Is it just, oh, for sure? Okay.
They love playing for him because as positive,
He's a Cali JUCO guy. I've known him forever. He's right here, El Camino JUCO. Yeah.
They really do rally around him. I think that he's very relatable, and I think that he more so than the used car salesman vibe that Matt Rule had, and kind of the gospel youth minister vibe that Frank Reich had. Yeah. He's like, look, I'm gonna be positive, but we got some work to do. Yeah. And I think that a lot of the players respected that from him. That he's very realistic. He has his expectations, but he is rooted in realism. I think that when he came in, when we talked to him at the combine, he said, I don't have an emotional attachment to anybody on this team. And right now, that's a benefit to me because I'm going to do what's best for the team. I'm going to make ball decisions, not emotional decisions. And we're going to continue to see him doing that. The biggest indicator of that was benching your number 1 draft pick 2 games into the season. That took some. I don't know if we could say that on there, but it took some gall.
You said whatever on this show.
It took some gumption. It
took some balls to do that.
It did. It took some balls, and he stuck with it. Even with Andy Dalton went out there, won a game, and he didn't look good after that. I'm sorry. I love Andy to death. Andy didn't look good after week 3, and my son told me, he said, Dalton's gonna give y'all 3 weeks.
And your son was right.
I walked into this house after the Chicago game, and he was like, told you, and kept watching TV. And I was like, yeah, you know what? But it took balls to do that. And I think that a guy that's willing to trade Deontay Johnson, he was your one. So it takes balls to do what's best for the team, regardless of how it might make someone feel. And I think that gets you the respect in the locker room. I knew at some point we were always going to see Bryce Young again, as we should have. But that factory reset that he gave him showed confidence in Bryce, and it showed confidence in himself, and it showed that Tepper is letting his guys do what they need to do. He's letting Dan Morgan and he's letting Dave Canales make the decisions that they feel are best for this football team. But that took guts. There's some veteran coaches that wouldn't have had the guts to do that. But he had a plan.
Maybe Tepper's learning. Maybe Tepper's learning. And listen, Canales coming up from the Pete Carroll tree. Pete hired him as a young, right out of JUCO, brings him on as a GA, worked with Sark at SC and a lot of other guys. And so he's been around the block. He's been around a great mentor. Let me ask you something about Caleb Williams. In Chicago, they hired Ben Johnson during this, the Lions' short run as a 1 seed. They get put out by Jaden Daniels and the Washington team. I want to ask you 2 questions. Can he save Caleb Williams after 1 year of obviously looking at him and the struggles after Justin Fields left, and they got better? They got better at every spot on the football field, in my opinion, after losing Justin Fields, where I was like, keep Justin, draft Joe Alt, get better up front. Still get you Dunzy or any other receiver. Brian Thomas possibly could have got him, to Sean King's point on our show. Can he save Caleb Williams? Question 1. Question 2, where are you at with the poaching and the time frame in hiring? Because you went through this hiring process in Carolina. I think it's ridiculous. I think that I would be pissed if I'm MCDC or any other head coach and you're poaching my coordinators during a playoff run.
When I want my active in the playoffs. Yeah.
I want my guys both feet in, Sheena. Now I'm questioning. Hey, Ben, you got hired yesterday in Chicago and already have a staff damn near in place.
Yeah.
You've been working on 2 things.
And you give to be focused on this game.
Like, what do you have with Goodell? With Goodell's the policy of open? Like, I would love to be open, just open it for everybody after the Super Bowl ends on February 10th. To me, it seems fair because you just can't do it. It's impossible. Even if you had a bye week, you can't do it. You lost your bye week as a former coach, and I'm looking at it like we lost our bye week because we lost our first game in the playoffs. And I got to question. Not scoring enough points and golf throwing a couple picks, and we're doing some trick shit down in the red zone, and it's like, what are we doing? They're just throwing shit at the wall.
What was that Jamison Williams throw? What was that?
Right.
I don't know. So can Ben Johnson save Caleb in your opinion? And what do you think about the hiring time windows and time frame?
I think that when it comes to that, like you said, it should definitely be after the Super Bowl, because how can you do virtual interviews when you're supposed to be game planning? Like this is what you're doing right here, right now. And I don't think that you lose too much by waiting 2 to 3 more weeks. I don't.
It's not college, right? You're not recruiting. It's not college.
You're not going to lose. Yeah, exactly. You're not going to lose that. The prospects that you could possibly be looking for, you were looking at them all season. You're looking at them all season. You're going to still have, the
March and April is what the Indianapolis is the combine. That's what, April or no, March.
Like last week, February, first week of March.
Yeah. All right. So you can still be hired by then. You got GMs, you got scouting departments. They haven't gone anywhere. Right.
Exactly. So I do think that they could definitely benefit from holding off, because it's hard, and not just his offensive coordinator, but his defensive coordinator. He's going to lose Aaron Glenn.
Yeah.
So it's like,
that's my
how locked in could you be? You know what I mean? How locked in could you be before? I mean, if you're already entertaining and trying to interview for these jobs. I mean, even I keep going back to, the Steve Wilkes thing. Steve Wilkes had to interview a couple days after their season ended. Frank Reich had gotten fired months earlier, so he had time to. Of course, he's going to be more. He's going to have a staff together because he's been at home. So I do think that those factors definitely need to be reconsidered going forward, because you can't be all in and be present for your team if you're taking all of these interviews. And the other question was if Ben Johnson could fix Caleb. I don't know what Chicago's cap looks like. I don't know what the contracts look like of their offensive line, but the games that I did see, Caleb was under duress like a lot. So that's one of the things that was really paramount in Bryce's improvement, is getting him some protection that he trusted. Because when you don't trust your protection, everything else goes to shit. Goes to hell. Like Bryce was.
Say fuck, shit, any balls, whatever you want to say, you can say on here. We're the realest show. We're the realest show. So
because you saw Bryce's thing. He was undersized, as everyone says, but Bryce had fundamentals. His game, his processing of the game were his strong suits. But
accurate. Yeah.
After he was getting knocked around, he started anticipating the hits and started getting happy feet in the pocket. So those are the things that started to break down, and that's the Bryce Young we saw those first 2 weeks. So,
but that's your point. Isn't that your point on rushing the rookies on a bad franchise? Isn't that your point of rushing quarterbacks when we can see the Mahomes of the world sit and the Aaron Rodgers sit and Brett Favre even sit and Tom Brady.
Brady sat.
Yeah.
Tom Brady sat. And so luckily these rookies that were playing behind these bad offensive lines, luckily they didn't get hurt. That's the other thing. Luckily they came away injury free. But if they can get him some solid protection, I think that the other weapons that they've given him in Chicago, you could see a Bryce Young type turnaround from Caleb Williams in year 2.
No doubt. Your head coach's former team, the Tampa Bay Bucks, are in the play. They went to the playoffs, and Baker, another former quarterback, and then another quarterback left and took the Vikings to the playoffs, both first-round exits. The division in totality. You got Atlanta, obviously. You guys are trying to get better, and it looks like a lot. I've heard from inside guys that I got buddies of mine coaching in the NFL. They're like, man, the Carolina Panthers really, if you look at it, aren't far away from being the new Detroit Lion. The bad team that was at the bottom, young, upcoming. They got a QB that maybe they can live with. They have a couple pieces on offense. And if you get another back to go with Hubbard, whether that be Brooks or whoever coming off injury, or you draft or trade, whatever, or free agent, they're not too far. All you O-line away. Every team in the NFL is an O-line away, contrary to belief, because every other skill guy is getting paid the same. To be honest, I'm just being honest. Right. That's the NFL is a dime a dozen. Wideouts are a dime a dozen. Running backs are a dime a dozen. O-line, D-line is where you win in the NFL, just like it is anywhere else. How far are you guys away from, let's say, in the next Detroit Lion, a young and upcoming team that's going to be successful in that division in the South, which I think is attainable and you can win. You can win that division.
The Bucks won the division at 10-7, so it's not like the number one team.
And the Bucks also, if you look at some of the Panthers, have to learn how to win. Have to learn how to close these games out and win. Because think about the fact that they were a fingertip away from beating the Philadelphia Eagles. No one gave them a chance.
Yeah.
They were
at the end of the season. They were playing top 10 football.
And then they were, it took the Kansas City Chiefs a walk-off field goal, which there were some calls in there that was a little suspect, but it's the Chiefs.
The Chiefs don't cheat, Sheena.
They've earned those calls. Yeah. You win, you get those calls. They've earned those calls. You think about that game that they took them to the wire in. You think about the game when they went to overtime with the Bucks, and they were in field goal range. They could have just kicked that field goal, but they wanted to get a little bit closer, and Chuba Hubbard fumbles. That game was won. So if you look at those, that's just 3 more games that, would have given them 8 wins on the season. And that's a stark contrast to winning just 2 games the year before. So if you get the defensive side of the ball just a little bit better, they're in that discussion.
Sheena, before you leave, Final Four is this weekend in the NFL, AFC, NFC title game Sunday. If we don't maybe we'll get you on before the Super Bowl, but who you got winning this Sunday, and who do you expect what do you expect the Super Bowl to be like this year?
The Commanders are playing excellent football right now.
They're
playing really good football right now. And when you add to that Jalen Hurts, it depends on how that knee feels. That knee immobilized him a lot in the second half of the game.
Head, finger, knee. He's got a lot going on.
He's got a lot going on. So it heavily relies on his health. If he is less than 100%, the Commanders could be in New Orleans in a couple of weeks.
With the rookie.
I don't think that is a hot take. They are playing some good football, and everybody is 0-0 in the playoffs. Records do not matter. They showed you that when they went to Detroit.
It's a new season. So you got the Commanders maybe if Jalen Hurts ain't healthy. And on the AFC, we got the Bills and the Chiefs. The Bills did beat the Chiefs this season, and they're only lost.
Man, the Chiefs, I'm telling you, the Chiefs, the whole team is part of the Illuminati, man. Like, I'm telling you, like, the whole team, the way that they're winning these games is like, there's no way. And it started with the toenail win over the Ravens. So, I mean, at the end of the day, man. Is
it because of the white girl?
Taylor? I just think that when you win, you get those calls, and I don't know if Taylor, I don't know what brujeria has been put in place for the Kansas City Chiefs, but I feel like they got some black magic going on. They have been winning in crazy ways. But Josh Allen has been balling too. So
JB, now they got 2 white girls. Now they got Caitlin Clark over there.
They do have Caitlin. I don't know, that might be insurmountable.
Sheena did.
Caitlin Clark, that might be insurmountable.
You can't overcome that, I don't think, Sheena.
Sheena, did Kelsey fuck up?
Sheena, do not answer you. You do not answer
Because I've seen the sister.
How I feel on this show.
What you drinking, JB?
Every single day, it's how I
Hey,
feel.
we all see this. Now, I get it. She got the B word behind her name, billion.
Billion.
She got $1 billion. I get all that. But I just can't come home to that every day.
She might have an amazing personality. I like Taylor Swift's music.
She might not put a personality out there. Stop.
She might have an amazing personality.
She better have amazing gog or something. She better have amazing something because that shit ain't, I don't know.
I like Taylor's music.
She got some.
I never heard of it. I never heard it.
I guarantee you've heard her music. You didn't know it was her, but I guarantee you heard her music.
You heard her music.
You're right. You might be
You
right.
at least heard Bad Blood. If you watch wrestling, you've at least heard Bad Blood.
100%.
Yeah, I never heard it. I couldn't tell you one song. Like if you told me, hey, you heard Whoop De Whoop, I couldn't tell you one song.
JB the chat said if she get a BBL, the game will change. Well, you think it's an L? Look, I'm interviewing you. Would it be an L still if Taylor got a BBL?
No.
We don't like.
I don't do.
Well, we don't like BBL over here.
I don't do fake. We don't do
if you got one, do your thing. But that ain't. We prefer the natural look.
Okay.
Yeah. We do real show on Planet Earth, so we do real shit. I do real shit.
Y'all are unicorns.
Yeah, like milk and magnesia don't do it for me. I can't do that.
Even when me and JB go to like strip clubs, if you got too much surgery, we ain't really.
Spicy white, but you're white.
I get it, but milk and magnesia don't do well for me.
See, seeing that he white, but he grew up around us his whole life, so I think his mind has shifted.
You know what? He's spicy white. We'll give him spicy white.
Spicy white. He white with a little bit of cinnamon inside of the water. He got a little bit
even
of.
With $1 billion, Sheena. Even with $1 billion, I come home every day and and then I see her, and then I'm like, a couple of weeks, I'm over that.
$1 billion is a lot, though, Jason. $1 billion.
$1 billion is a lot.
I get it. But I seen the other sister that he used to mess with, and I'm like, man, he never get bored of that. But anyway, Sheena, it's been great. Love you. Appreciate you. Great insight on the Panthers and all things NFL. And so I didn't hear you say it, but you got the Chiefs, I guess, winning?
It's hard to bet against Mahomes, man. It just is. It is. I want the Bills there. I'm not even going to hold you. Like, this is going to be like my 7th Super Bowl, and Kansas City has played in like 4 of them joints. Like, I think Bills Mafia in New Orleans would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's just hard to bet against Patty Mahomes. It's just hard.
I'm going all in on Jaden Daniels.
He's Patrick Mahomes.
I'm taking Josh Allen to run all over the place, and he's going to take
this. I hope he does.
Me too.
Yeah,
I hope he does. I hope it's time for a changing of the guard, man. It's like, let's take it up.
Right now for me. Anybody but the Chiefs. If the Chiefs win Super Bowl, Sheena, I'm not watching NFL next year. I got boycott.
If the Chiefs go to the Super Bowl, I'm not covering the game. Now, let me stop before somebody sees that. NFL, I'm just playing. Don't take my credential. I'm joking.
Real quick, so you will be in New Orleans?
I will be in New Orleans.
Well, I'll be there too. I'm sure. Hopefully, I'll run into you. I'm sure I'll see you at some point. I ain't seen you in person.
I'll be there. I will be there. I got it.
We saw each other at the draft.
Sheena, you come out here on that Sunday, you'll be in the Super Bowl. So, damn, Super Bowl Sunday, I have a big party here. Comedians, bartender. We got some girls.
If the Chiefs are playing, you might see me, JB. If the Chiefs are playing,
there you go.
Oh, then let's go. February 9th, we're here. We got some, poker right here at the table, poker table. We got bar, we got lounge, we got everything.
Drinks.
Yeah, we got it all. Bartenders, topless poker dealers.
What did you say, JB? The last part? What was the last part you said?
Man, Smitty gonna mess up, and Smitty ain't even gonna be able to go. Smitty gonna let him come,
you know what
man.
I mean? That's my whole flow up.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
You're supposed to text him something like that, JB.
He don't know the bro code, Shane. Like he don't, you know what I mean? Like you don't just put stuff out.
Crazy, JB. Rookie mistake.
Nah, don't worry about it. We already know. Sheena, enjoy the week. Hopefully you're in some sort of good weather. I know the East Coast getting rattled by weather, snow. We're getting rattled by fires. It's crazy right now. But it is what it is. Hopefully you're safe, and hopefully we'll get you back on before the Super Bowl.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No problem. Good
Always.
seeing you. Have a good one.
Later.
Hey, T. Rich is here for 10 minutes, man. We gonna bring him straight in. And
video,
let's bring him in.
BPS. T-Rich said he coming on at 7 o'clock this morning. He just came on right now.
Hey, homie, Trent was supposed to be on y'all today at 6:30 with Dr. Jesse Moore. We gonna talk about the health of Bama players. This motherfucker got on at 8:51. The show ended 9. If there ain't some black people shit one-on-one, I don't know what it is.
Hey, gotta love it. Hey, T-Ray, let's go right into it. Let's go straight to it. Last night's national championship game was
national championship. It's today's national championship.
It's what?
Today's national championship.
I love T-Ray. T-Ray's my favorite guy. T-Ray's my favorite guy. I don't know about y'all favorite guy.
The best team in the country win.
Yeah, same shit. We just said same shit last night. It's about to be March Madness, T-Rich. March Madness started out a couple of weeks. And football's still going.
I can't wait.
And then we had 12 teams. We had 12 teams in there. About 5 teams shouldn't have been in there. And then the seeding was off. And then we still playing. It's February. It was MLK. It was Martin Luther King Day the other day. It's Black History Month. We playing football.
Is it? I'll tell you what. JB. Yeah. Well, I mean, guys, what can we do about Notre Dame, though? Like, Notre Dame has been close in the last decade or two, right? It's been that close. And they just saying to can't
beat anybody good.
I don't want to say they can't pray enough to get a win.
Oh shoot!
In a natty, but like, bro, like it's time, like, cause that tradition that's supposed to be there, right? Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be lit every year. Like that standard is supposed to be lit every year, and that's what I'm trying to get these guys at my school too, to realize. Like each team is a different team, but bro, y'all gotta fight. Like y'all gotta put some type of dog out there to where it's like y'all gotta make somebody intimidated or something, or say that we deserve to be here every year.
Yeah.
So,
baby Jesus, or touchdown Jesus. It just, I don't know if it's getting through. It's not working there.
I think there's certain players Notre Dame just can't recruit. You know what I'm saying? Like they're good enough to be like they can be real good, O-line, tight end, but they're missing like a handful of like dogs. And until they can get them, it's a wrap.
This is the problem. This is the problem when I was getting recruited. Smith, I don't know. But no girls can be in a dorm room, no girls can be around any man's. And to get the dogs like I knew I couldn't make it because I had 2 kids in high school. It wasn't gonna happen.
You been fucking.
Yeah, that's been over. Like I wasn't gonna make it when I was 15, right? Right. So,
he been what, Smitty?
Huh?
He was what? He been what?
He been fucking.
Yeah. These kids do the new trip out. I was already tripping out.
He learned how to put that thing in that motherfucker. Trent was not going to Notre Dame, homie.
I recruited T-Rich, and I was like, fucking babies having babies. I gotta have it on my roster now.
T-Rich was 10 with a 2-year-old, homie.
BPS. Hey, BPS like a motherfucker. BPS like a motherfucker. Hey,
T-Rich 38 right now. Son, 31.
Hey, T-Rich, it's unbelievable. It's so funny. It's so funny you say that because I don't know. Nah, you're probably younger, but you said the dorms, and you've been in there. You've been in Notre Dame on a visit, right?
No, I did not go because they didn't.
Oh, you didn't go on a visit? Okay. So
I looked at the scholarship, JB. I looked at the scholarship and said you couldn't have any girls around. And
all right. Here's the question. The point's still the same though. So a good friend of mine and his brother who I coached, Kevin Olsen, I coached, Miami quarterback, got kicked out of Miami. I brought him to Garden City, and I took him out here to Cali. His brother's legendary Hall of Fame tight end, Greg Olsen, went to Notre Dame first and was there and was in the dorm. And he's telling me like one-on-one in person, like a story. And he said, man, that shit was like from the 1800s. It was this big. And I got in there, and it was a brick building. It was like a brick jail. And then I'm like, I got to go. And he goes to Miami before it got too far. He got too deep embedded. He was like, it was unbelievably old, bad. He was like, I got to get out of here. And so to your point about the dorm and the girls and shit, that is a huge attraction or distraction to not bringing the guys.
There are women there though, because one of my good friends went there. But I think the dorm rule is real, but there is ways around it, and I'll leave it at that. But to that point though, it still makes it tougher compared to let's be real too. Even the type of women at Notre Dame compared to the type of women at like a Florida State or a Bama, even I could imagine, or it's just gonna be different anyway. Let's make
no mistake about it, T-Ray. It ain't BYU bad.
It's gonna be like, yeah, it ain't BYU.
It's bad. It's not BYU bad, but it's bad. T-Rich, real quick, before you get out of here, before we wrap the show up, appreciate you hopping on here for a hot minute. Last night's Natty, I thought it was the worst national championship game I've ever watched, and just it's so long. The season was just so drawn out.
No, the worst ones on Bama beat Notre Dame in 2013. That was worse.
But it was 6 weeks ago. Like we're fucking we're almost in 2026. We're still playing the 24 season. So anyway, let me ask you something, T-Rich. Let's transition real quick to the NFL.
I know what you saying.
Let's transition to the NFL. The Final Four is here, T-Rich. The Final Four is here. Your first thoughts about a rookie quarterback possibly playing in a Super Bowl for the first time. Jaden Daniels out here balling like no other. Can they beat the Eagles?
No. I'm gonna keep it real. No, it ain't gonna happen. And I like Chase Daniels.
I said no.
I like Daniels, right? I like Daniels.
Daniels on me.
Yeah, I like Daniels, right? Another SEC guy. He's had a great year. But bro, I just can't see it happening.
You're just biased because you like Jalen Hurts is your little brother, so you biased.
Nah, but I just can't see and it's not to get. No, I'm gonna leave it alone because it's too close. It's too close.
Say it, homie.
Hey man, listen. We got another president in the White House, man. It's too close. But I just can't see it happening, man. But I wish that kid the best of luck, and I wish he could. And it's football. So at the end of the day, Lamar might pop out, out the shitter, throw a touchdown, Lamar Jackson. Anything can happen. It's a game of football.
What the fuck's going on, man?
It's the game of football. Did Lamar Jackson just take a shit last year?
Right now.
No. I'm just saying it's a game of football. Then Lamar Jackson.
You could go take a shit like Lamar got caught doing on camera and then come back and throw a touchdown. I know what he's saying. So hold on, T-Rich. So the Eagles are in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Eagles are in the Super Bowl.
Sheena Quick, beautiful. Sheena Quick just came on and said that the Chiefs are in the Illuminati. Yeah. They're part of the Illuminati. The referee.
Let's clip that too, Pierce.
The Taylor Swift, the Taylor Swiftie, everything, the whole thing is set up for the Chiefs to win. Is there any chance at all that Josh Allen can go in there, whether he shits or not, and goes and wins that game?
Ain't no shit in the world for that, man. Nah, it ain't happening. It's a couple people. It's a couple people I don't bet against. Nick Saban, Tom Brady, Belichick, or Andy Reid or Pat Mahomes. I don't bet against those guys.
So they gonna three-peat.
How many championships Jordan got? And he got three back to back. Then he took 2 years off and went back. I ain't gonna say he's gonna have 6 of them, but I can see him going three-peat this year.
I mean, this right here will be number 4.
Oh yeah, he do got 3. Yeah, I can see 4. Yeah, I can see 4.
But it would be 3 in a row. So damn.
But my thing is, man, people mad about Kansas City, but it's like when the Patriots doing it, like it was more authentic or something. Like what was it?
I ain't gonna lie. I was a Colts fan. I hate the Patriots the same way.
Yeah.
I guess with now though, it just feels like, and maybe we're just tripping, but this whole season, the Chiefs just don't look that good, but they find a way to win. So it's frustrating. Number one. Number
One
two.
loss all year. One loss all year.
Number two, and Sheena was talking about, JB, it seems like every game, the refs will do something crazy, outrageous. Just like, hold on, bro. That was clearly not that or not. You know what I mean? Every game is a moment that shifts the whole momentum in Chiefs' favor, it feels like. And it's like, damn, bro, a blind man can see that. You know, so that's what it is, but I don't know.
So, but the thing is, like, it's one of those things to where, like, man, you can't keep playing these games so close to catch up with you.
Yeah.
But do Philly got enough to outplay everything else? And I think Philly right now is probably the best team to say that, okay, they can go compete with them and beat them in a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, Saquon's playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
kid,
think
he's
Jalen
right.
Hurts don't look good, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I think he ran well last game, but now he got a knee situation. So if he's wearing that knee brace and he can't run, he ain't been throwing it. AJ Brown had one catch for like a few yards, and the last game and one catch for 10 yards. So it's like he ain't getting the ball to his receivers. If he can't run, they're gonna give Saquon the ball 60 times. I mean,
Yeah, they gotta stop. They gotta stop letting him get hit though, man. Like that kid taking on a lot of hits.
Who, Jalen?
Yeah, a lot of unnecessary hits. And I mean, I understand it was a cold and all this other stuff. It was snowing, but at the same time, bro, y'all get paid for that shit too. We get
Hey,
paid
T-Rich,
for it.
you guys got a new kicker. And Kalen DeBoer went out and got you guys a new kicker. What do you feel about him, and how are you feeling about him?
Can this kicker make a tackle? Can he run 30 yards? Can he run a 42?
No. Forget all that. You got to read what it say.
Can you see his age?
Larson is 32 years old. He's older than me, homie.
Bro, I'm coming back. I don't care what nobody say. I got 1 year left. Smitty, what's up?
Talk to me.
JB, I need you to come get on the staff.
Let's start training, T-Rich.
You just coach my position. You ain't got to coach nothing to coach my position. You ain't got to coach
nothing. You going back to Bama or you going somewhere else?
Whoever got the most must be the money. must be the money.
Would you win the Heisman next year? Would you win the Heisman next year?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
You think you will for real?
Yes.
He was a finalist, and it's crazy.
Like who's gonna tackle me today? Like who's gonna make a tackle?
Homie, your legs ain't strong like that no more, T-Rich.
Man, listen, man.
You don't even lift weights no more.
It's certain stuff that you don't lose. I lift at 5 a.m. every morning. Listen, I've been up. I get up at 4.
Why you late then, homie?
No, I wasn't late to this. Me and JB had an agreement, so this guy's the one championship talk. So I mean, no shot. No shot.
Okay.
You were kind of at my boy last show.
Put that hand down, homie. Put that hand down, homie. Put that hand down.
Hey, T-Rich.
I gotta go, JB. So ask him one last final good question.
But 32 years old, like, what are we doing, man?
Trying to take care of his life.
He's not really going to Bama. I'm just fucking with you, but he's in the portal. Shit crazy.
I don't care where he going. 32 years old, man. You playing some little ass kids out there, man. Them kids are 18, 17.
Your son.
Hell, my son gonna be 16 when he make it in his freshman year. 16, 17 years old. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't get it, man. T-Rich, always a pleasure. So you got the Chiefs, Eagles, and you got the Chiefs three-peating. We'll talk next Tuesday before the Super Bowl, though. But I'm about to fly you out. What are you doing on the Super Bowl? You going to the Super Bowl?
Hey, I'm in there. I'm at a JB house. I'm at a JB Palace. I'm there.
Well, let's do it.
They be talking about flying out everybody, bro.
Listen, we in there with the slap dicks. We in there with the slap dicks. What we doing?
Flying out 10 people, homie.
Must be the money.
Homie, just be there. Be there, be square, homie. Smitty, you just be here, Smitty. That's all you got to do.
I hear you.
Hey, what kind of get-together is it?
Hey, y'all,
It's
man.
it's one of them ones, T-Rich, where you come solo just because, you know, it's a lot of, you know, we're in the hood and shit. You don't want to bring your people, you know what I'm saying? It's like one of them man thing, you know, like we're a poker, you know, the dealers are going to be kind of like, you know, available to look loose and, you know, one of them games, one of them days. I wouldn't come with no, like, you know, sand to the beach type of situation. I wouldn't bring sand to the beach.
Oh.
I mean, I wouldn't understand. But, you know, it's cool. Not a Diddy party, though.
I wasn't go there, but I was just trying to, you know, make sure everything was safe.
Hey, by the way, Smitty, real quick. I still have the same baby oil bottle I bought when I was in 8th grade. I use it on my clippers. T-Rich, you know how you put on your clippers when we shave? I still got the same baby oil. Do you know this motherfucker went through 10,000 bottles? Hey, T-Rich, how's that Hoover? You gonna be the head coach of Hoover coming up soon? Congratulations, T-Rich. Congratulations, T-Rich, for being the new head coach. We'll see T-Rich next week. Man, great show. Shout out to Sheena. Shout out to Steve. Shout out to Dr. Jesse Morse. And it is another Talk That Talk Tuesday on the Realest Show on Planet Earth. Pound that like going over to BetUS today using promo code CoachJB and subscribe and become a member of our other channel as we'll be doing some things. We went live last night on
snowing in New Orleans for real.
No shit.
Like really like snowing. Like this is the homegirl sent me this picture.
Hey Max, you come, Max. Let me know. Hit me up, Max. We'll chop it up.
Hey, I gotta go. Y'all finish the show. Bailey, JB, T. Mizum, Isaiah, Max Hass, Mark Rideout, Gord, T2 Nasty, J. Round, Mark Rideout. All y'all appreciate y'all, man. It's been a great show. I gotta go pay these bills. I'm gonna see y'all mañana.
Send me some money. See you tomorrow. Peace.